Maglalakad ba kayo sa likod ko? Okay lang. Check mic. Check. Check mic 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, check. All right, we're on air now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, HR professionals. Wherever you are in this beautiful planet, I hope you're in good health. It's another Sunday afternoon, so welcome to another enriching episode of HR Cafe, your favorite Sunday afternoon habit for learning and gaining insights about trabaho, buhay, at iba pa. I'm Mentor Alan, and I'm thrilled to be one of your hosts today as we dive into insightful conversations na naman, share best practices, and explore the latest trends in the world of human resources and organization development. With me today is Mentor Jamie Iris. Mentor Jamie would like to greet the members of our audience.
Yes, thank you so much, Mentor Alan. To everyone who's watching us from different parts of the world, a blessed day to all of you. And alam kong excited kayo katulad ng sabi ni Mentor Alan because we have a lot in store for you. At syempre, we are looking forward then to hear from you. So if you have some questions later on, especially sa napaka-exciting na topic natin ngayon, please just don't hesitate. Just drop it in the comment boxes. Yan.
All right. So let's see if we can control now the slides. But pardon us, ladies and gentlemen, medyo nagkaroon lang kami ng konting technical challenge kanina. Kaya kami po ay medyo, alam nyo na late ng kaunti. But don't you worry, siguro marami nag-worry. Meron ba ngayon? Meron po. And I noticed that meron ng mga naka-log in, no? Sa iba't ibang platform, and later on I'm sure dadami pa yan, but for the meantime we can start now our program. HR Cafe, by the way, is a Sunday afternoon talk show hosted by the mentors and coaches of Philippines HR Group. So we provide timely news and updates and impart knowledge and experience that are value adding and beneficial. And we also discuss problems, issues, and challenges and provide answers and resolutions with our guest resource. Okay. We also discuss new technology, tools, and processes, as well as industry best practices. We also um, announce some good news from virtual job boards or job related announcements. And we also bridge understanding between employers and employees through our different topics featured here in HR Cafe. And finally, we also provide inspiration and motivation. Yun. So, dito po sa HR Cafe, we talk about different things and these are the highlights. Meron po kami dito mga wow quote for the week wherein we talk about, we feature a particular quote and we discuss how it relates to us. And we also have HR question of the week and HR learning for the week. And these also feature different topics under HR or organization development or learning and development aspects of our job. We also talk about important HR news and updates. And of course, since this is a free training online, we feature guest speakers who will provide free training topics, which is our main event or segment. And these guest speakers are, of course, well known names or personalities in their respective fields, mostly from HR, learning and development, as well as organization development. So, here are the hosts, no, of HR Cafe. First, we have Sir Darwin Rivers, the founder, no, one of the founders of HR Cafe, but he is actually the founder of Philippines HR Group. At ako po ay isa lamang sa mga members ng board of directors. Si Coach Darwin ay siya ring nagpasimuno nitong HR Cafe together with mentor Tina Florentino. She is also one of the board members of PHRG and she is a CEO of Uprush Social Geekers Incorporated. And also among us is mentor Tina Koang, operations and HR leader, well-known content creator. Also, isa sa mga regional hosts ng HR Cafe ay si Mentor Neil Lumakad, another member of the board of directors of Philippines HR Group, and he is actually the VP for External Affairs of Philippines HR Group. And currently is also a learning and engagement leader. And of course, yours truly, Alan Cañete. I am a learning and organization development for more than 3 decades already. And I'm also a board member of the Philippines HR Group. And I'm also the president and CEO of Creative Moves Business Outsourcing. And more hosts, yung mga bago po natin at very able and very enthusiastic hosts are, of course, yung pong ating guest speaker today happens to be one of our mentors, si Mentor Oliver Rekilman from Far Eastern University. And meron po siyang napaka-interesting subject matter for today, no, that he will share to us. Also, among the hosts is mentor Ray Fremista. Unfortunately, he has also a very, very important um, matter to attend to today. Yeah, he will not be able to join us, but he's the senior director and process engineer, no, of Intellogics Incorporated. Among the hosts also is mentor Bonnie Factor, founder and CEO of a leading, ito yung tinatawag na Leading with Success Incorporated, yung kanya pong company. And of course, sino ba naman makakalimot kay mentor Jamie Iris. Okay? She's also a one of the mentors and she's a managing director of Empowered to Excel Training Consultancy Services. And finally, last but not the least, mentor Jackson Kiatson. He's a senior HR stakeholder engagement and director of Power for All IQ Bets. Right? And Mentor Iris, meron po tayong magandang quote for the week. Ang quote natin for the week,
Mhm.
Ito yung inaabangan na napakarami palagi kasi ang gandang topic ito at maraming
Uh-huh.
insights ang nati-trigger whenever we talk about the quote, no? Our quote for the week is, "A wise man speaks because he has something to say. A fool speaks because he has to say something." That's from the Greek philosopher Plato.
Mhm.
Mentor Jamie, ano po yung um, kapag nag-introspect ka sa quote na ganito,
Mhm.
quote na to, what insights do you want to share about the quote? How does this relate to you?
Yes, thank you so much, Mentor Alan. Naku, napakagandang quote nito, everyone. Especially, no, most of us in HR, or if you're from other departments too, lagi tayong nasa meetings, right? Or yung mga gatherings. So, we always have to simply remember, what this quote actually reminds me is, there's an opportunity to speak, like anyone can speak in the room, make sure that if you will grab the microphone or grab the opportunity to speak, you really have something to say. Meaning, your talk, or kahit maikli lang yan ha, it doesn't have to be mahaba, purposeful. You thought about it at it's for the good of everyone. At linked siya dapat dun sa mismong topic, hindi magde-defeat. Why am I simply saying that? Kasi sabi nga, a wise man speaks because he has something to say. Yun talagang, you are maximizing the time of everyone. Hindi lang para, 'di ba kasi Mentor Alan, at alam ko yung iba makaka-relate din kayo, baka may na-encounter na tayo. There are kasi depende sa personality yon, depende sa experiences. Sometimes they want the limelight only, but not taking into consideration yung sasabihin talaga nila. If they really have something to say, they just simply want to speak. And I think that is what Plato is saying. So sometimes fool speaks because he has to say something, meaning wala naman talaga, kaya lang, wala na ako ibang masabi, pero kailangan ko magsalita kasi baka kung anong sasabihin nila, di ba? It's okay sometimes. I want to tell everyone, like, kami, kumbaga, we also, from ranks, we were given an opportunity to become leaders. Masasabi ko na, sometimes, if there are things talaga, there are situations na you don't have anything to say at that point in time, it's okay not to say anything yet. Kasi baka, one, you might not be very familiar with the topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need time to listen. Listening is still part of communication. And once you listen, you learn. And that makes you wiser. And hindi ka man agad makapagsalita at the beginning of the meeting or the occasion, maybe later on, para substantial yung sasabihin mo. And Mentor Alan, ito lang lagi kong naiisip. Kasi nga, when it comes to speaking, remember also, we are our brand. So I'm not sure kung sa mga companies po ninyo medyo natalakay na about being a brand. So each one of us in HR, not only the department itself, meron tayo, kumbaga, individually, people will remember us for what we do and what we say. Maganda po na we are remembered and we can be remembered na, oh, siya pag nagsalita, yung leader na yan, may substance. 'Di ba? Yun yung, I think, yung sinasabi ni Plato na a wise man speaks because he has something to say, that every time our mouth will open, hindi nonsense yung sinasabi, hindi empty yung sinasabi, kung hindi, kahit maikli, and to the point, sabi nga, you hit the nail on the head kapag ikaw ay when you're talking about it. Yon. And
Yes.
then, ito lang, siguro is marirelate ko din sa situation o naging situation ko dati, and baka makarelate din kayo. In a meeting, di ba, sometimes we're pressured to say something, lalo na pag nag-round the table na yung pinaka-facilitator ng meeting. Ako talaga, Mentor Alan and everyone else, lalo na when I worked overseas, ako lang ang Filipino, yung iba, kumbaga, hindi ibang lahi. Ako kasi, I know the type of communication and personality plus leadership style that I have. I will not speak unless I understand very well the topic and I have something to say. Kapag
Yes.
halimbawa, nagtanong na lahat, 'di ba? At yung sagot ko pareho nung sa iba, I'll just simply say na, oh, it's the same as what he had mentioned. And I don't feel it makes me less of a person because pareho eh. Ayokong ulitin na ng ulitin kasi masasayang yung time. Lalo na kasi 'di ba yung meeting, ano yan, may agenda tayo, 'di ba? Pero if I have something to add, then I will add. Kasi at least it can help. Ang lagi nating isipin, when you speak, nag-a-add value ba yan sa conversation?
Mm.
Nakakatulong ba yan sa mga tao? Nakakatulong ba yan dun sa goal natin? Kasi kapag hindi, then you might be just simply parang nagba-blurt out ka ng words pero walang substance, walang essence. Ang mahirap nun, 'di ba, Mentor Alan, you will be remembered for that. So, okay na sometimes quiet pero alam nila kapag bumukas ang bibig mo, aba, may essence yan at may substance.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much for that, mentor Jamie. Ako naman ang nakikita ko dyan, ito dalawa, no? Kasi a wise man speaks because he has something to say. The quote suggests that in the corporate setting, tayo po should speak when we have valuable insights, information, or contribution to offer tulad ng ina-emphasize ni Mentor Tina. However, there are times na kung wala ka lang masabi, tama yung sinabi niya, tumahimik ka. But there are some people within inside the room na may masabi
Yes.
lang.
Oo.
Grandstanding ang nangyayari at nasasayang nga yung oras natin. Kaya this could refer to situations where individuals engage in unnecessary chatter, offer irrelevant opinions, speak without considering the impact of their words. Kung yan ba ay nakaka-damage ng ibang tao, ng yung feelings, ng reputation nila, abla lang abla, or yung sarili niyang reputation ang nade-damage. Okay? When we are speaking in wisdom, so may katuturan, ano? When we're speaking in wisdom, when individuals speak thoughtfully and purposefully, their words carry more weight and credibility. Kaya they are perceived as knowledgeable and credible, sabi nga ni Ma'am Jamie. Conversely, constantly speaking without adding value or substance can diminish the individual's reputation and credibility. I'm sorry to say this, but there are a lot of notoriously known, tama ba yung pagka-English nun, na politicians and public officials who are grandstanding, sinasayang nila yung resources, may masabi lang, no? Sa corporate setting, may mga ganyan tao, may mga officers na para lang magpakita ng magpalapad ng papel sa CEO during boardrooms, no? During Mancom, mema lang, salita ng salita kahit walang value add yung sinasabi. This is frustrating and sometimes it will create disengagement among employees whenever a department head would do that or engage in this kind of talk, no? Kasi bla bla ng bla bla, wala namang katuturan, minsan nagsisermon lang, pasok sa kabilang tenga sa among employees, then labas sa kabilang tenga. Kaya nasasayang lang yung oras. Another thing, if a if a person will speak in wisdom, ika nga, there will be effective problem solving. There will be thoughtful communication, no? And this will often lead to more effective problem solving because there are valuable insights and valuable realizations kapag nakikinig ka sa mga people who are speaking in wisdom. Di ba? Individuals can contribute to the identification and resolution of challenges. Then, ultimately, this speech, this talk, will drive better outcomes for the company. In contrast naman, ito po, engaging in empty speech, empty talk, nonsense, during meetings will only prolong the discussion without substance. Diba? It can waste valuable time and resources and it can hinder productivity and impede progress on important tasks and projects, di ba? And empty speech can also contribute to miscommunication and confusion with the people within the workplace. Kasi baka iniisip ng mga tao, baka importante ito pag nung wala lang kasi masabi kung ano-anong lumalabas sa bibig, nag-aalamano na. When individuals speak without clarity or coherence, messages may be misunderstood or misinterpreted, leading to errors, delays, confusion, inefficiencies in tasks and project. Yun yung disadvantage ng pababayaan mo magsalita yung mga officers or even mga mga members talking nonsense. While if the speaker will talk with insightful and substantial speech or talk, no, in the corporate setting, again, decisions often require input from multiple stakeholders kasi. So when individuals speak wisely, may mga decisions na ma-arrive ang grupo that is very, very important dahil may katuturan yung narinig mo, no? Factual and based on the experience probably of the speaker. Pero kapag empty talk yan, ako, sayang. Hindi ka makapag-decide kasi ang narinig mo ay tungkol lang doon sa sarili niya, tungkol lang sa buhay niya, at walang relevance. So, may impact din niya sa innovation. Nobody can think of new ideas because nalalayo yung topic eh. Nag-grandstanding lang itong person na ito during the meeting. And when you are in a conflict resolution situation, yung mga taong speaking in wisdom, ika nga, can add value in resolving the conflict because wise communication can help de-escalate tensions and facilitate constructive dialogue, no? Kaya lang minsan yung mga tao natatakot sa dialogue, no? Dahil lalo na kung ang kausap mo ay hindi substantial kausap, yung dialogue nagiging daya na, lugi ka pa, dialogue. Kaya takot sila makipag-usap sa mga walang substance kausap. Individuals who speak thoughtfully, however, are more likely to express their concerns in a respectful, diplomatic manner, leading to more productive conflict resolution and processes. So, in conclusion, embracing wisdom in speaking can have far-reaching benefits for both the individuals and the organization as a whole. No, it will foster a culture of collaboration, innovation, and success. Yun po ang aking stake dito. Alright, so Mentor Jamie, basahin ko lang tong mga comments, no? By
Sure.
the way, binabati natin si Joanne Badango Holgado. She's watching from Cabuyao. Si Daday Kelahe Dino, watching from Parañaque. And a Facebook user, ang comment niya, may masabi lang, have the penchant for saying something to please themselves and people who surround them. O yun, pa-impress nga, no? Words matter. The moment you utter your words, you tell everyone who you are. Pag lumabas pa naman yung words sa bibig mo, wala na. Pag tumama yan sa eardrums ng mga katabi mo, hindi mo na yan mariretrieve. Hindi mo na yan mahihigop ulit. Kasi lumabas na eh. Kaya kung walang kwenta yon, that will be the impression about you. Wala palang kwentang kausap. So sinayang muli oras ko. Ito ba, sabi ni isang Facebook user, something I always follow, be sure to taste your words before you spit them out. Okay, very good. And also si Belle Guria, watching from Cebu. Kumusta naman mo diha sa Cebu? All right, so let's now talk about the HR question of the week. HR question of the week. At ito, maganda to, ano? Ang sabi dito, what to do if an employee tests positive if an employee tests positive during the company's random drug test. Alright? Anong gagawin po natin mga HR professionals, HR practitioners, no? Kapag nag-drug test tayo sa company natin, randomly merong nakitaan ng positive results. All right. So ano po ang gagawin? Mentor Jamie, anong take mo dito?
Yes, dito naman, like, each company, I believe, will have a process, right? Kapag sakasakaling mangyari to, and may mga companies talaga, like the companies I worked with po sa overseas, talagang informed ang mga employees from the very start that there will always be random testing, whether it's alcohol or drugs. And just in case, ini-inform na rin namin para, alam mo yung maiwasan na prevention na wag na nilang gawin if they love their job and they're really committed, kasi may consequences siya. Sa company namin before, so depende kasi din yun eh. May companies na ang rule nila, termination. Tapos may mga countries din po ako na pagtrabahuhan, lalo na Middle East, hindi lang termination from the company, you can also get imprisoned. So,
Wow.
ganun kabigat talaga sa ibang bansa. So, depende kung saang bansa po kayo. Kung may mga companies na termination na walang ka ng trabaho, at least hindi ka ipapakulong. Mahirap po kasi makulong sa ibang bansa, lalo na iba ang klaseng penalty nila, lalo na kung, depende pa yun, Mentor Alan and everyone. So, di ba, kung nag-test ng positive, i-check pa rin nila syempre yung mga gamit and everything ng mga security. Ngayon, ang tanong, gumagamit lang ba? Or iba pa kasi nagtutulak, mas grabe pa yun, may another kumaga government yun na magkakaroon siya ng legal responsibility. So, ang ginagawa dyan, usually for HR, again, bago actually mangyari, naka-inform naman lahat na merong ganitong proseso, either yung bansa, at or kaya yung mismong kumpanya, and then ano yung mga sanction nun. Like, ang tawag namin doon, yun yung mga talagang mga wag na wag mong gagawin kasi nga mawawalan ka ng trabaho and worse, mai-imprison ka. And then, syempre may due process yun, i-maintain pa rin natin as much as possible yung, let us just say, credibility ng tao. As much as possible, discreet tayo. Kasi, syempre, when that happened, kinakailangan na alert na, alam na smooth yung process natin. So pag nag-test ng positive, ano nang kasunod, sino mga department like security people, yung department nila i-inform na. So walang big commotion, but then again smooth processing, and then paano na syempre kakausapin din yung empleyado na napaka-importante nun, and then paano na yung processing ng kanilang paglabas ng kumpanya, na we still keep their morals intact, but we have to explain to them ano yung consequences nung kanilang na-commit kasi nga they tested positive sa drug test. Sana wala na compounded pa kasi nga mahirap na, lalo na sa ibang bansa. How about sa atin dito, Mentor Alan, ano naman yung ma-share mo? Sorry, unmute.
Alright, sorry. So, base sa batas ng Pilipinas, okay, meron po tayong tinatawag na confirmatory test. So, yun yung pangalawang test na DOH ang gumagawa. No? Unang-una dyan, bago yan, meron mo ng random test sa company. Yun yung initial screening. At may mga kumpanya na kapag nakitang ganun nga na ikaw ay positive, you test positive in the drug test, they will subject you to confirmatory test. So, pero ano na yun, in some companies, you're subject to also some disciplinary actions. Yung iba pa nga, you may also lose your job. But there are companies na bibigyan ka pa ng second chance, no? Bibigyan ka ng pagkakataon na mag-undergo ng pangalawang test, yung confirmatory, at kapag ito'y napatunayan, dalawang possibilities. Siguro dahil sa importante talaga yung role mo, the company doesn't want to just let you go, pagbibigyan kang mag-undergo ng rehabilitation. Okay? Um, Siguro dun sa rehabilitation na yan ay magtanda-tanda ng employee, because you're given a second chance. Kasi sa Philippines, it is also considered hindi agad siya basta-bastang papatawan ng krimen, kundi tinuturing siya na pasyente, a person with some mental or emotional problem, who need some rehabilitation. But not all companies are that forgiving, because in their handbook, when they are found to be positive in their drug test, some companies will outright um, advise the person na mag-pack up na ika nga. But there, of course, they observe due process. At yun naman po sinasabi natin sa lahat na siguruhin pong sinusunod pa rin natin yung due process. You inform the employee of the result of the test in both the initial screening, or the screening test kung nag-positive siya. And if you are forgiving enough, probably subject him to confirmatory test before you. Then, of course, we listen to the person, give the person a time in court, listen his side of the story. Baka naman hindi niya talaga sinadya na ma-inject nung whatever substance is found in his blood. Baka he's undergoing some therapy or treatment, and that substance was found because it's part of his treatment. Unless na lang kung ito'y tetrahydrocannabinol or the THC, which is an active substance found in marijuana or cannabis sativa, no, cannabis, all dito, variants of cannabis. Kasi sa batas natin, bawal na bawal siya. At hindi pa yata aprobado yung medical marijuana, no? Pinag-uusapan pa yan sa Senado at sa Kongreso. So we cannot use that. You cannot use that as an excuse. I don't know what's the progress right now. But the last thing that I checked, ito po hindi pa rin hindi pa ito pinapayagan ng batas. Kahit sabihin mo ako ay nag-undergo ng treatment at ako ay nagme-medical marijuana. Para madaling sabihin yun eh. At maraming pwedeng umabuso ng privilege. And I think you just have to, for us HR practitioners, we have to, by recommendation, you have to study this very important thing, because it's best to consult the company's drug-free workplace program, which is a mandatory policy given by, of course, our government. No? According to law, in accordance with Article 5 of Republic Act number 9165, otherwise known as Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002, and it's implementing rules and regulations in the consultation with the tripartite task force created under DOLE. Okay, it is important that we have this kind of policy in our handbook and we implement this in our company. Right? So, yun po yung magandang at napaka-interesting na HR question of the week, na lahat po dapat tayo ay familiar sa bagay na to. At this point, let me greet once more some people who are present in our audience. Si Cha Aguilar, good afternoon din. I'm glad that you're watching with your HR team. Si Frida Santa Dagatan, good afternoon Frida. She's from Davao City. Si Chef Bones or Bones, sa company namin, sabi niya, we encourage our employee to undergo the rehab. Pero sa kanila, ayaw nila at voluntary na silang nag-exit. Yun. So, unfortunate yun, no? So, we follow the procedures, sabi ng isang Facebook user, stipulated in RA 9165. First time, 6 months rehab and FTW. After second offense, follow twin notice rule, and if guilty, separation from the company. Tama. And si Jeff Bones, sabi niya, watching from Cebu siya. Maayong hapon sa inyong tanan diha. And si Mac Kenneth J. Absin, he's also watching from Cebu. May lucky tayong may lucky tang tanan diha. Yeah, nagjo-joke lang ako. May lucky means good guys. All right, so sana tayo. After the HR question of the week, we now have the itong portion na kung saan ito yung OD portion ng discussion yung HR learning of the week. Okay? Ang sabi dito, change management is a process of communicating information about organizational changes such as updated mission or policy, new hires or termination, updates in leadership and management, new workplace tools, and more. And if it is done well, change management is an opportunity to promote employee trust and engagement in the company. Mentor Jamie, anong take mo rito sa change management?
Yes, Mentor Alan, for change management, I definitely agree with what was shared. That although a lot of people sometimes, di ba, sabi nga nila, they don't, not all people love or like change, but change is constant and the only constant in this world, just like what they're always saying. And managing the change, especially for an organization, lalo na kung malaki yung number natin, kaya small or big, pero lalo na yung bigger, it's very important so that at least, sabi nga, when you have your operations and you have clients also or customers or guests that you are delivering, whether products to or services, dapat hindi maaantala o hindi sila negatively affect ng whatever changes is happening internally. And just like what was shared by Mentor Alan, once the change management process actually merong maayos or effective communication of information from top to everyone else, and how does it actually translate sa bawat department? How will the change actually affect each one so that at least everyone knows and alam nila yung gagawin nila? At kung pwede pa nga, may mga yan, depende kasi sa company, pero part of the process, di ba, may mga trials dyan. Tapos, dapat, just like what was mentioned, kailangan talaga yung feedback. Kung ano yung nangyayari when the change was implemented, kailangan i-feedback natin whoever, yung committee ng change management or leader ng change management, so that at least they can take into consideration and make adjustment or calibrate yung said changes. Nang sa gayon, they know it will be according to bakit ba nagkaroon ng change, right? So, dapat nami-meet yung goal nun. And lastly, yung nabanggit dito is change management. If nagawa yung nasabi kanina ni Mentor Alan, kasama na din yun syempre yung when it comes to new hires, training, updates in leadership, new workplace tools, and a lot more, this actually can be a great opportunity to promote employee trust. Hindi yung, kasi yung iba, di ba, lalo na kung matagal na sometimes sa company, they actually want to stay in the comfort zone. Aba, sino naman ang ayaw, di ba? Most of us would want that. But then again, if we want development, if we want to achieve further success, then definitely we have to move out of our comfort zone and embrace change. But how can it be easier? Kasi hindi naman madali yung change. Siyempre, may nakagawian na tayo, right? Then just make sure that it's clearly communicated, everyone is on board, and if anyone is having any challenges, address it, leaders, so that at least, maintindihan din ng mga employees what the change is all about and how it's helping not only the company, it will not only benefit the clients or the customers, but it also definitely in long term will benefit each employees. And then because of this can promote employee trust and engagement in the organization. So everyone will be on board and they will definitely support the company. Basta maayos po ang pag-implement ng change management. Ayan. If you need support, then either within the leaders or outside consultant, then make sure that at least you have that so that the change or the process of change will be implemented smoothly. So that's my take. Mentor Alan, how about you? Ayan, Mentor Alan, ayan. We cannot hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Naka-mute pala ako. Anyway, yung term na change management, gusto ko lang i-suggest sa lahat na let's change that. Kasi na-confuse yung mga maraming rank and file. When we used that before, ba't tuwan-tuwa? Sabi ko, ba't kaya sila natuwa? Sabi, sir, change management, papalitan na natin yung management. Yay! Na misconstrue. Kaya ang ginagamit na namin simula noon is managing change. Okay? Mas hindi siya ma-misinterpret. We're undergoing a process of managing change rather than undergoing the change management process na natutuwa yung mga kontrabida at mga rank and file na medyo may sama ng loob, no? Change management, papalitan na. So we're undergoing managing change. Anyway, pareho lang ang ibig natin sabihin, but we sometimes need to clarify. It's a process nga of communicating information about organizational changes. Okay? However, we need to explain this to some HR newbies. Hindi pa rin naiintindihan itong bagay na to. No? Paano ba yung change management na yan? Imagine this. The company is like a big ship sailing towards a goal. Sometimes, the course needs to adjust, di ba? Or maybe the sails need an upgrade, okay? That's where change management comes in. That's where managing change comes in. May mga resistance, totoo, but the captain of the ship will have to manage that resistance. Yan, parte ng managing change. You have to clearly explain what's changing on the ship. Tayo naman, mga HR practitioners supporting our HR manager, we have to show support by explaining the destination and telling them the process by talking about better navigation of the system or navigation system. Maybe even a new crew member will have to be taken in, and we also have to explain that to them bakit may pagbabago sa crew. And it's also about keeping everyone informed. This means explaining what's changing, what's happening, and how it will affect everyone's work. So this could be done through meetings, emails, or even company announcements. No? Resistance, andyan talaga yan eh. We have to tell them what's in store for them, no? If they will support change, no? And if they will not, what are the detrimental effects, no? Kailangan maintindihan nila. Because it's really our role. We help people adjust, okay? Because change is unsettling. Therefore, managing change can involve training people on new tools, training people on new processes, procedures, or even giving people time to ask questions and get comfortable with the new ways of doing things. Okay? The ultimate purpose talaga is to build trust and engagement or buy-in from everybody, no? Top down, mula sa CEO down to the lowest position. So when employees understand the reasons behind the change and they get to appreciate it, they will start supporting the change that we are introducing. They're more likely to be on board and contribute to the success of the new direction or the change that we're introducing. Yun. So mga example yan, pag merong bagong software, may bagong leadership, may bagong standard, may bagong procedure. Yun. So, by the way, Mentor Jamie, I'll be doing some technical adjustments muna, and you might want to give them some examples, no, yung mga specific examples ng mga changes that's happening in the work abroad in particular, lalo na kapag merong mga mga pagbabago sa software, pagbabago yung mga, ewan ko kung na-experience mo na yung merger, ano, kasi marami tayong mga members na naka-experience niyan. Paano mo usually minamanage ito para there is a smooth transition dun sa ating managing change?
Okay, sige, Mentor Alan. Let me share with our viewers kung ano-ano po ba yung mga possible na ginagawa. And kayo din po, please don't hesitate if you had experiences such as this. Please drop it in the comment box so that we could also share to others. So sa amin, like for example, if there will be like big changes, let's take for example yung nabanggit ni Mentor Alan for systems. Kung magbabago ang system, so may announcement yan, nakaplan dapat po yan. Huwag bigla-biglaan para at least matitake into consideration na although magkakaroon ng, let us just say, syempre interruption in the operation, hindi naman detrimental or very costly again to external, lalo na yung mga guests at even internal. Mami-minimize yung ano man yung possible na effect nito na negative, so mas more on positive. So nakaschedule siya, and then when I said nakaschedule, it could be per department. Ngayon, how it will be cascaded, it will depend upon your company. Like in our company before, so what actually had happened is, because it's a big airline company and we will be changing, like for example, yung isang system namin, so they just give us a schedule. For example, this department, itong nakaschedule, so the trainings will happen first, and then there will also be a trial period. I believe that also helps a lot. At least bago magtalagang launch ng change, meron lang trial so that at least makikita how actually it goes. And then after that, nagbibigay din ng feedback. We are encouraged to actually give our feedback. Meron silang binibigay na email or kaya depende din naman, may companies naman ako, they have what we call yung sa G Drive, yung parang common drive ng lahat ng departments wherein you can just simply drop yung iyong mga suggestions so that at least, or feedback kung ano nangyari during the trial. And madalas naman, kumbaga, naso-sort out or nato-troubleshoot kapag may mga gusot pa or hindi ganun ka smooth yung transition. Another example that I could give, for example, nung pandemic crisis, we hope that there's not, wag na ulit maka-encounter ng something as, drastic as pandemic. But if ever we will, then at least prepared tayo. Ang daming changes sa system because every parang aspect, di ba? From face to face, kinakailangan na lahat halos mag-remote. At yung remote pang iba, talagang mas may upgrades pa siya. So, same, madalas ang ginagawa, may point person. Like if for example, external yung magpo-provide ng change natin, so kinakailangan may point person or committees per committee in the company, and then may representative din doon sa company. And then ang pagpumili naman ng leaders, napaka-importante kung system yan, yung someone who can easily absorb yung mga recent changes and then can translate easily also to the team members. And once na na-implement naman yan, so again, just like what I've said, meron at meron pa rin kahit actual implementation, kahit may trial, so just give feedback consistently so that at least malalaman din ng mga mismong humahawak ng system or nag-implement ng change kung effective ba, ano yung nagiging humps and bumps, so that at least they could actually address it. At siguro po yung ma-share ko sa inyo na talagang ako I really admire, and masasabi ko na isa sa mga best practices na maari nyo rin po, maaring ginagawa nyo na, or kung hindi nyo pa ginagawa, you can also do it. Yung companies I've worked with, usually pag may change, may bukod sa may schedule sila, may memo sila. Like yung memo nila, meron din silang ginagawa na bukod sa memo, meron silang equipping sa leaders, wherein the leaders will have like a guide what they actually will say for the team. And lahat doon nandun. And then pinoprovide din nila yung leaders ng FAQ para at least consistent across the company kung ano yung kumbaga i-reply ng leader, kumbaga if someone asks questions, so hindi kailangan kumbaga mag-imbento or hindi kailangan mga pa ng leaders, at least may FAQ. Just in case na wala dun yung question o walang answer dun sa FAQ, mula questions ng mga employees about the changes, then they can always ask the point person of the Committee for Change Management. So ilan lang po yun. Mentor Alan?
Yes. Ayun, nag-echo. Sandali. Dali lang. How can I?
And while we're waiting for Mentor Alan, basahin ko lang yung comment ni Mirna Decena. Sabi niya, okay naman po ang change, kaya lang hindi yung na-experience namin ang bilis ng change like 1 week. Oo nga, medyo mabilis yung 1 week. And we understand sometimes the stress it brings about, no? So, tama. Hoping po bigyan ng, lalo na kung alam niyo yung change will occur ahead of time. So give also the people or the teams and departments in the company at least, a heads up and opportunity to adjust then. So that you will, sabi nga ni ni Mentor Alan kanina, on board lahat, and kung meron mang mga how it will affect us, still, kumbaga, hindi naman ganun ka negative ang effect sa atin. But magkakaroon pa rin ng smooth processing. But yes, during the pandemic crisis, medyo talagang ang bilis. Alam mo, you really have to keep up yung dun sa face ng mga changes. Ayan.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Ayun.
No echo.
So, ang daming Alan Cañete na gusto sumali. Interesting na kasi yung topic eh. Anyway, punta tayo sa mga updates. Meron pong update sa Bureau of Internal Revenue. So, this is a tax advisory. So, meron pong deadline of submission ang BIR. At ito yung the deadline of submission of BIR form number 2316. And it is extended actually, in a good news, no? Extended to March 31, 2024. But we encourage you to read the full story in a link that they provided. That's the HTTPS. Ayan, nasa screen po natin, the bit.ly, no? bit.ly. At andyan po yung code. So, extended po ang submission ng Form 2316. And BIR Form 2316 shall be signed by the concerned employee and especially those qualified for substituted filing. All right. Tapos meron ding isa pang update from BIR. There is an updated version of the Alpha List Data Entry and Validation Module. That's version 7.7.2. And this is now available for use and can be downloaded from the BIR website. And we have updates from SSS. Ma'am Jamie?
Yes, let me share with you the update from SSS. So attention to all pensioners scheduled for ACOP or yung tinatawag po natin na Annual Confirmation of Pensioners Program for March. So sinasabi po dito, you may now submit your compliance before the end of the month to ensure continuous receipt of your pensions. Nako, napaka-importante po nito. So update na po natin. So who should comply? Number 1, mga retirement pensioners residing overseas. Kasama din po dyan yung mga retirement pensioners residing in the Philippines who are 80 years old and above. Yung mga meron pong total disability pensioners, mga death survivorship pensioners, at mga dependent children under guardianship. So schedule of your compliance, please take a look and check na lang po sa mga malalapit na SSS sa inyo. Most of the time po, birth month of the pensioner member po ito. And then for the death survivor pensioners at dependent children under guardianship, yung birth month naman po of deceased members. Ayan po. So please make sure to remember that retirement pensioners residing in the Philippines who are below 80 years old are exempted from ACOP or ACOP po. Ayan. And then, meron pa rin tayong Mentor Alan and everyone regarding SSS Consulone program. So just in case po you had past due loans and accumulated penalties, will affect the total amount you will receive from SSS benefits when you need them. So take advantage na nyo na po itong penalty condonation program to settle your delinquent loans. Naiintindihan naman po natin na sometimes in our lives, nagkakaroon po talaga ng challenges when it comes to the budget, lalo na po nung nag-pandemic crisis. Pero ito po, may pagkakataon mula sa SSS para makonsolidate po ang inyong loan. So, makikita nyo po sa kanilang website, ayan, na sabi po nila, what you can actually do is, ayan, all members, sino bang qualified dito? All members and borrowers with past due SSS short-term member loan or STML accounts. At the same time, yung mga SSS consolidated loan or SSS consol loan na dati, ito po, as follows, sabi po nila, maari po ang na-loan ninyo salary loan, including salary loan early renewal program or SLERP, calamity loan, emergency loan, at restructured loan. So members or member borrowers who have not been granted any final benefit. At ganun din po mga member borrowers who have not been disqualified due to fraud committed against the SSS and member borrowers with active active.mysss accounts. Ayan po. So ang sabi po nila, ang program, it works like this. All outstanding principal and interest of the member borrower's past due loans shall be combined into one. So if you have more than one po, combine nila yon at yung tawag po doon, consolidated loan or SSS consol loan. Then, the unpaid penalties shall be consolidated separately and shall be subject to conditional condonation. So, ang tanong dito po, when are SSS consol loan accounts considered in default? So ito po ay kung when the member borrower, number 1, fails to pay in full the agreed one-time payment or down payment within the approved period. Number 2 po, fails to pay their obligation equivalent to more than 6 accumulated monthly amortizations. And number 3, fails to pay in full the installment plan with the approved term. And lastly, committed any fraudulent acts against or violation of any regulations and guidelines by SSS. So ayan po, you can see on the screen how our applications to the program submitted. So scan nyo lang po itong ating code. And then sabi po dito, submission of SSS consol loan application shall be through the member borrower's my.sss account. And again, please just scan this QR code to know more information about it. Ayan po. And then, Mentor Alan?
All right. So sa pag-ibig naman, mga nagmamahal at mga minamahal, isa to sa mga paborito nating ahensya ng gobyerno. Meron pong update ang pag-ibig. Pero good news po ito, no? Update from HDMF. Ang Pag-ibig Fund Ayala Mall Circuit Branch in Makati is now open. Sabi nila, we're officially opened our doors on the 20th of February 2024. So, mag-iisang buwan na to, ready to serve our members and stakeholders from Mondays to Fridays. At ito pa po ang update nila. Breaking to, no? Breaking news. Pag-ibig announces dividend rates for regular savings and MP2 savings. Okay? Pag-ibig has finally and formally unveiled the high anticipated Pag-ibig savings dividend rates for year 2023. In today's chairman, chairman's report on Feb 27, 2024, and the President of the Philippines himself signed this together with the Pag-ibig CEO Marilyn C. Acosta. They unveiled the dividend rates of Pag-ibig regular savings of 6.55 per annum and MP2 savings at 7.05% per annum. All right. So ito naman yung dagdag 30% sa mga case rates packages sa lahat ng admission simula Pebrero 14 mil 2024 na lang. Limutan na yun. Para sa mga miyembro, ito ang hinihintay ng lahat simula February 14. Itinaas ang case rates packages ng 30%, pinalawak at mga bagong benepisyo para sa mamamayang Pilipino. Alright. So, ito naman po ay ang 24 oras nila na serbisyo. 24/7 sa sa PhilHealth naman ito. Isa rin sa mga paborito nating ahensya. No? Ina-announce po ng PhilHealth na open sila to sa kanilang hotline to accommodate the need for services. No? 24/7, 24 oras sa loob ng 7 araw sa isang linggo. Okay? The Philippine Health Insurance Corporation has implemented a 24/7 hotline, and the numbers are 8662-2588. So 365 days po ito sa buong taon for all concerns from its members. All right? And ito na may announcement mula sa PHRG, ang ating pong kinabibilangang lahat. Meron po tayong Certified Human Resource Professional Partner or CHRP, and they are launching again their new batch of training as the Certified Human Resource Professional Program, and this will be the batch 15. Incidentally, Mentor Jamie, I used to conduct with them, no, as one of their mentors way back 20, kailan ba yun? I think that was before the lockdown. Okay, and atong darating ay sa April 2027 at May 4, 2024. At ito ay sa Astoria Plaza Hotel sa Ortigas, Pasig City. So mag-enroll na po yung gusto magkaroon ng CHRP certification. Ikakabit nyo na rin yung CHRP pagkatapos ng inyong pangalan in your credentials. Okay? At today naman, meron po tayong siyempleng special guest in the person of Mentor Oliver Reckelman. Incidentally, he's one of our mentors, and it's a very, very interesting topic. And with that, let me give you his profile. Sir Oliver, Mentor Oliver, is a certified Total Rewards Specialist from ASEAN Institute of Total Rewards, Singapore. And he's also a certified professional HR from the Chartered Institute of HR Professionals in UK. Also, Sir Oliver is an he also invested as Associate Fellow in People Management by Society of Fellows of People Management Association of the Philippines, or PMAP. He is a recipient. He was a recipient of the HR Leadership Award in Bangalore, India, for fostering harmonious industrial relations and spearheading proactive labor management council initiatives, recognized as one of the 100 global HR minds in Mumbai, India by Times Ascent Incorporated. He was awarded consecutively from 2018 to 2020 as one of the top 100 Filipinos to follow on LinkedIn for inspiration and learning by LinkedIn Asia and Marketing in Asia Limited, actively involved also in mentorship program and the leadership of under the Leadership Development Committee of PMAC from 2020 to 2023. He is a recognized person, recognized as one of the top 100 HR leaders by Advantage Club and CHRO Asia in June 2023. Currently, he is serving as executive director of a prominent university in Metro Manila and as global trainer consultant partner at Circa Logica Group. Additionally, he is holding positions as an adjunct professor at FEU Manila and as a professional lecturer at San Sebastian College, Recolitos, and Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mentor Oliver Reckelman. All right, Sir Oliver, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here this time around wearing the hat of resource speaker. A few weeks back, I was wearing the hat as one of the co-hosts.
So, gano'n naman tayo dito eh. Tayo yung flexible, versatile.
Yes, that is true. That is very, very true. Which is why it's also aligned to the topic today that it's an HR ad hoc series. Why do we call it ad hoc? Because this is some sort of a regular, irregular, meaning it's a regular thing in human resources that, oftentimes we're always asked to speak in public, but yet at the same time, it's irregular because it does not say in our job description, or it does not say that we are to do that, we have to do that. But every now and then, the expectation is already present. Kaya ad hoc siya eh. It's not a regular thing, but it's a regular irregular.
Mhm. All right. So, I understand that you prepared for your topic today, Sir Oliver, no? At
Yes,
ito'y
that is true. I just
interesting.
made a few slides just for the purpose of guidance. So I will not be heavily discussing on the per slide item. So I'm looking at around 30 minutes presentation just for this.
Okay, so we'll just go to the back door and give you the floor, and you have
Okay.
45 minutes for your talk, Sir Oliver.
Okay.
So much.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you around, Mentor Alan and Mentor Jamie.
See you.
All right. Thank you.
You just control na lang the PowerPoint.
All right. Is it on now? Can you see the slide?
Still yet to be up.
Okay. It's on the studio now. I think I need to. Somebody has to put that up. Okay, there. Thank you so much. Okay, got it. So it's already up, right? You can see it from your end, Mentor Jamie and Mentor Alan.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great, fantastic. So, all right. Yeah, this is where you can find me. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Twitter. But though I don't really spend so much time in it anymore, but you can still find me there, and also on YouTube and especially on LinkedIn. So these are the organizations that I have joined over the past 25 years of my life. And these are the schools where I came from. I'm Cebuano, just like Mentor Alan. And maayong hapon tanan diha gikan sa Cebu, mga bisdak, asa pod mga bisdak na nasa Manila karon. And these are the organizations that I currently represent. So I recently joined De La Salle as executive director for human resources. And I'm still with Circa Logica as one of their principal consultants for learning. And I teach in the graduate school at FEU and also at San Sebastian. And I'll be joining soon PUP. I actually have started already PUP for their business program. So what we're going to discuss today is about getting yourself ready for presentation. And like I said earlier, most often than not, we're put in a situation. HR leaders were always put in a situation where we haven't really prepared for anything. No, so there was no training for us, but eventually we grew into the role of doing it. Tama? Para bang out of nowhere, suddenly, because we're the head of HR, we're in human resources, the assumption is that we can do it. So public speaking became an expected output from us, although you cannot find that in a piece of paper. That is something that we have to do. But yet, people expect that from us. So what I'm going to share with you this afternoon is not coming off from a textbook, but rather coming off from my experience of how I started doing public speaking on my own. But of course, there were a few occasions when I had to make mistakes, and I have learned from that. However, when you look at public speaking, I'm only referring to the place and a time wherein you will be invited as a conference speaker or as a concurrent speaker. So ito po ay yung mga speaking engagement natin na nasa labas ng opisina. Okay? So I'll be sharing with you largely coming off from my experience. So just to set the mood straight, I have divided the presentation only in 3 dimensions. Okay, what you need to prepare, and how are you going to deliver what you have prepared? Okay, what you have prepared, and then the preparation of the entire or how they call this topic that you need to present to the crowd. So again, going back to the dimension. So the first dimension is preparation of the materials. Now, second is preparing yourself the day before the speaking engagement, and third is delivering and what you're going to do, delivering the topic that you need to deliver, and what you're going to do while on stage. All right. So first and foremost, let's understand what is meant by a conference. Pag sinabing summit, pag sinabing public speaking and all that, you have to assume that it is a conference. Okay, so what to expect in a conference? Because a conference has 4 parts. Okay, the welcome, the main plenary. So plenary means it's a time wherein the speaker will synchronize, no, or harmonize the theme of the conference and the expected output or take away from the conference by the delegates. And of course, to align also and to harmonize the concurrent topics to the main theme of the program. So yun ang purpose po ng plenary. And then that main plenary also is where the speaker welcomes everyone and set the mood straight, no? And make everybody comfortable comfortable in the topics going to be discussed, and provide a safe spaces to those who will be asking questions. So ito po yung plenary session. Now, second is the concurrent. Now, concurrent means simultaneous program running together independently. So usually this happens in the afternoon. So if somebody invites you to speak in a summit, please ask and kindly ask what what portion of the program you'll be speaking on. Is it the plenary session? Is it the concurrent session? Or is it the main session? Now, let's go to the main session. Ano ba yung main session? So after the plenary, you're still in the plenary hall. Ibig sabihin, yung main hall, no? Nandun ka pa rin. Except that this time around, you will be speaking a portion of the theme. Now, on the main session, it could come in either a panel, meaning you're one of the panelists to speak on a particular topic. Now, it could be a discussion based on your experience or your thoughts and opinion, or it could also be a reaction to what is going to be presented. So, whatever it is, that's the part of the main session. Okay, now you can also speak on a particular topic that has something to do with the main theme of the conference. Ayan. Now, lastly is the closing ceremony. Ngayon, yung closing, if that will be assigned to you, if you will be invited to speak for the closing remarks, make it sure that you understand what the theme is all about, and then try to understand as well what topics went on during the concurrent. Now, if there were too many concurrent sessions going on, pick at least three programs from the concurrent that you can align and harmonize with the main theme of the program. But when you do your closing, you are coming off from the perspective of putting in place together for the key takeaways of the delegates. And of course, this is an opportunity for you as well to thank the speakers, the delegates, and of course, the working committee who did the logistics for the program. Now, usually the closing remark is handled by the program organizers themselves. Now, the plenary, meaning the opening of the program, is oftentimes handled by the chairman of the program or chairman of the organization or director of the program. Para alam niya kung ano yung sasabihin niya at alam niya kung paano niya isa-set yung mood and set ng expectation in the conference, right? So there is no Q&A in the plenary session, but there might be some Q&A on the main session. Now I'll be sharing with you a little bit more about the Q&A. Now let's take a look at the first part, the first dimension, which is preparing the materials for presentation. So when you prepare your presentation, make it sure that these are largely visual aids. Okay? Now, if it is going to be too textual, meaning there's too many text on it, and you cannot avoid because it is a study, a result of a research that you need to capture the entire abstract and put it there, it's all right. But please explain to the delegates and mention to the delegates that you have included the entire abstract for the purpose of appreciation. And the most important is that you are not going to read it to the delegates. What you are going to do is to share and discuss the substance behind the abstract. Okay, kaya nga siya tinawag na abstract eh. It's not the entire study in itself. So you're just going to get the substance and share it to the delegates, right? Share to the audience. Now, on the use of the graphs, if you're going to present something that is positive, make the bar chart larger, the distance. Come up with a larger distance so that you can see the growth really coming up or going up. Okay? But if the report is something that is negative in nature, then close the bars a little bit closer to each other. Okay? Para when you deliver the negative side of the data that you're presenting, the bar is coming down from the top down. O para hindi at saka malapit siya para the distance is not going to be glaring. Because when you deliver a data and through the use of graphs, so it could be pictograph, it could be pie chart, it could be a bar graph. So whatever it is, what you are actually doing this is that you're coming up with a description of the move from the low to the highest, right? Lowest to the highest. So kung positive report yan, gawan mo ng malakihan na lawak para maganda tingnan na from the smallest to the highest. So you are actually prepping everybody to a positive environment, no? Para a positive expectation. So you're hyping everybody up. Now, when it's negative, that's why you have to make it a little bit closer. It's because it's negative, and you don't stay there too long. Okay, you don't hype up something that is negative. If possible, you just pass through it. Okay. Now, for the purpose of comparison, if you have a positive and then you edit with a negative, you have another negative data, put back the audience to the previous slide, which was positive. Para you have positive, negative, positive. So when you present graphs in that manner, you're actually ending the presentation in a positive note. Okay. Now, second, when you preparing for the materials, you need to bring your own clicker. No, as part of my experience, I've attended few conferences wherein clicker was not provided. So whenever I speak, I have to say next slide, next slide, next slide. Alam mo, nakakawala siya ng attention, nakakawala ng gana from the delegate's point of view. Kasi you keep on saying something that is not part of the presentation. And then ikaw din, yung height ng presentation mo is also affected. So you bring your own clicker. Second, you bring your own adapter. If your laptop is HDMI, assume that the projector is VGA. Likewise, you also need to get your own VGA if you are using a VGA laptop. So if your connection is VGA, then get an HDMI. So assume that it's going to be there's going to be differences in terms of adapters. Okay. Now, third, most important, you bring your own extension cord. Now, the reason behind it is that sometimes when the presentation gets too hyped up, you get to prepare your laptop ahead. You open it, and then the next thing you know, you're halfway of the juice. para bang you're halfway already, tapos by the time you finish your presentation, your laptop is giving you a signal that you're 5 minutes away from getting drained of your juice, of your power juice. So what you needed to do is to look for get your own, not to look for, but to get your own uh, extension cord. So nangyayari to sa akin every now and then. So from then on, when I experience something terrible, like totally, I drained my battery. From then on, I make it to a point that whenever I attend conferences as a resource speaker, is that I bring all these three things. I bring my own clicker, adapter, and also extension cord. Now, when you prepare as well for your materials, prepare for your own introduction. Okay. Now, keep in mind that you should never ever send a CV to the master of ceremony or to the program director or the program organizer, because the moment you send your CV and the MC makes a mistake of reading the entire CV, it's going to kill the excitement of your presentation. Ikaw din mismo, ma-agitate ka, and it's going to end with anxiety on your end. So when you stand there in the stage and you start with your presentation, iniisip mo parati yung maling introduction. No, so sa umpisa pa lang mali na, then the whole presentation you will be moving towards plenty of errors, or you will encounter plenty of errors. So what you needed to do here is that you make your own presentation, you write it. Now the rule here, the general rule rather, is an introduction that should not be more than 1.5 minutes. Okay, hindi siya dapat umabot ng 3 minutes kasi 3 minutes is one song. So you cannot go beyond that. So introduction should be less than 1.5 minute, a minute and a half. So write it down, write it yourself, and then read it out. Then time yourself. It is more than 1.5 minutes, then cut it shorter. It should be less than that. Now, separate the slides as well from the presentation to what you are going to give out for notes. Okay, so your notes that's going to be shared to all the delegates should be something that is may not be complete, but rather concise of what you are trying to say or what you have said during the presentation. Okay, now if you're going to ask me, do I give out notes during presentation or during conferences? The answer is no. Why is that? Well, for one, I need to protect data privacy. And what I send out is company property, right? Not unless, of course, if the company that I represent has approved the distribution of my presentation. So I just explained it out to the organizer by saying that, well, this event is recorded. You have the videos. They can take my videos, but they cannot take my slides presentation. In fact, whenever I send out also slides in advance for presentation, what I do is I always watermark it and I send out a PDF form. Para there will be no transfer of one slide to another. If they do so, at least it's going to be a screenshot. Okay, so that's how you prepare for the presentation, for the materials that you're going to present for presentation. So okay, going back to how to introduce yourself. Now, one of the many errors that most people or most resource speakers make is that there's too much nominals, pre-nominals and post-nominal. So when you introduce yourself, if you have a doctorate degree and you're called doctor in the academe, in the conference you are not a doctor, because the pre-nominals only applies to three group of professionals. No, isa doon is a professional, medical. So anything that's something to do with medicine, dental medicine, optical medicine, or medicine. So sila talaga yung doktor. Okay? Now, second, use on the pre-nominal are the ones in the military. Kasi the military kasi rank eh. Kumbaga sa they earned it with blood and sweat. No? So it's okay to use colonel as long as they are in the active service. It is also used the title colonel, but after the name there's open, close, retired. So they die actually with their ranks. Kasi they earned that over the years blood and sweat nga eh. And same applies to the police, to the paramilitary such as navigation, aerial, no, yung sa pilot, aerospace. So ganun din, no? Captain, blah, 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 open, close, retired. So it's normal to use that. Kasi paramilitary sila, yung structure. Now, third is a vocation. Ito naman sa religion. So you can use pastor if this a non-Catholic denomination, and you use priest if it is Catholic denomination. Then you use also mother, sister, and brother. Kasi acceptable po yan sa vocation. Yan. Religion po yan eh. So we apply that also to other religions as well. Imam, rabbi, and then so on. But in the academe, pag doctor ka, huwag kang magpatawag ng doktor during presentation, even if you brand yourself along that avenue. Kasi mali po yan. Now, second to that, when you send out your name for the printing and for the what do you call this, for the flyer, what you need to do is you include the highest academic achievement. So wag mong ilalagay yung MBA, Master in this so and so, kasi hindi po siya highest. The highest academic degree is doctorate. So okay lang yun, lagyan mo Juan de la Cruz, PhD. Pero kung MBA lang, wag mo lagyan ng MBA. Okay? Now, tapos followed by the profession that you practice. Now, if you have a certificate, like you have a multiple certificate in whatever profession that you have encountered, pick only one that you often use. So, let's say, for example, in my case, no, I'm in general human resource practice. So, what I use is CPHR. I don't use the CTRS kasi hindi ko naman araw-araw ginagawa yung compensation and benefits. What I do regularly is I am in human resources as a generalist. And what I do in the academe as an instructor, as a lecturer, is what I do in the graduate school. So it's normal that I will be called doctor, but outside of that, I don't have to be called doctor. Pag ginamit ko yun, magmumukha lang akong hindi marunong. Sinayang ko lang yung pagiging doctorate ko. So yan po. So kung meron kayong 4 o 3 na certification, pick one the most that you use in terms of certification. Okay? Now, all right. When you also come up with a long introduction of yourself, do away with text when you introduce your background, the companies where you came from, education. Come up with the logo para madali siyang maintindihan. Pag nakita, ay, yung pala yung alma mater niya, alumni pala siya dito sa school na to. And same also with the organization that you're currently representing. Okay? Now, of all the entire details of what you have done in your life, those can be found, I'm sure, those can be found in details in your LinkedIn profile. Di ba? Tama? Now, if you do not have that on your LinkedIn profile and you have that on your FB, then you choose which one of the two you're going to use in terms of detailed information about yourself. But most common is LinkedIn. Not that I'm advertising LinkedIn, pero sinasabi ko lang that it's the most common. So what you should do is you include your link, your link in the profile of your LinkedIn. Para if somebody will be interested to know you more, all they have to do is to click it. Or perhaps what you can do is to include the QR code that you can find on LinkedIn. So when you find it there, put it on beside your photo so that somebody can just screenshot it, right? Kasi we have to do away with too many long list of so and so and blah blah blah. I remember years ago, no, hindi pa uso yung LinkedIn, whenever somebody's introduced, one page, no, top to bottom talaga yung babasahin ng MC. Siguro mga isang kanta at kalahati, so mga 5 minutes. Can you imagine that? So that's the dimension now of what you need to prepare on yourself. Now this time, okay, let's take a look at preparing yourself on the day that you have to speak. Okay, so on the day of the engagement, be conscious of what you're going to wear. Always wear black pants. If you're a female speaker, always wear black skirt. Bakit black? Kasi black absorbs the light. Okay? Now, what you cannot afford to happen in some cases, this happens. So what you cannot afford to happen is that when you're wearing light pants and then natuluan ka ng tubig o nabasa ka, it will look ugly when you stand in front of the crowd. Lalo na pag nailawan ka ng searchlight or ng spotlight. Pag nilawan ka ng spotlight, it's going to look different, and you know that you are and you know that a portion of your body is not visibly virtually good, no? So ikaw mismo magiging conscious ka, and it's going to derail your confidence when you speak. You'd either shorten it, or you'd either do something that will cover that portion right there. So that's the very reason why it's always best to wear black pants or anything that is uh, dark color in nature, dark gray, dark blue, or black. You know? Yeah, yun ang maganda. Now, for women especially, because you have the undergarments, di ba? You have undergarments, and light, the spotlight is very strong. So what you need to do on the blouse, you wear white, plain white, because plain white also absorbs the light. So hindi bumabakat yung kung anong meron ka sa ilalim. At kung meron sa ilalim, you have to wear something that is near the color of white. Kasi pag nag-wear ka ng pink and medyo see-through, pag ano ng spotlight sa iyo, makikita ka agad yung undergarments mo, babakat siya. No, mag-stand out with whatever you're wearing. Now, kami namang men, at least it's a bit safe on our part because most of us wear undershirts. So we have a t-shirt under. So whenever a spotlight hits us, it doesn't gives the silhouette of a naked body. But just the same, if you are a male speaker or you're a male speaker, always be conscious also on putting on a t-shirt underneath. Okay? And then avoid as well bright color shirts. So as much as possible, when you speak in any conference, wear dark colors. And for your undershirt, I mean your shirt top, wear just plain white or anything that is plain in nature. Blue, gray, white, because these are the colors that absorbs light. Okay? Now, when you sit, like you'll be invited to speak in a panel, always cross your legs. Okay, tingnan mo yung on the top right, left side of the photo. Pangit tingnan, di ba? Nakabuka ka and then so on. So be conscious as well to cross your legs. If you cannot cross your legs for whatever reason, no, you're uncomfortable in doing that, then at least be conscious also in putting your knees closer to each other. So kahit lalaki ka, you need to do this, especially for women guests and speakers. Be conscious on putting your knees together closer to each other. So para the attention is not towards your bottom but to your face. Okay? And then if you can also pull your chair a little bit on the side or pull yourself a little bit on the side so you can angle yourself not in front of the crowd but a little bit towards either left or right. Now, the common practice is you try to face the moderator. Kung yung moderator, nasa left side yung podium at siya yung nagmo-moderate, then you move towards left. If it's towards right, then you move towards right. And then you maintain it. All right. Now, another thing that you need to understand also is how the stage is planned or created. No? So, before you accept any speaking engagement, familiarize yourself how a stage is positioned. What is meant by center stage? What is meant by upper right or down right, upper left, down left, and middle, no? Middle right, middle left, no? Or center left. So all these terminologies and the mapping of the stage should be something that you are familiar with. Kasi yung ibang program director, when they talk to you as if like, you know, you've been doing it for the longest time. Buti sana if you've been doing it for the longest time. So there's already familiarity on the stage positions. But what if you're not familiar, or even if you're doing it for the longest time, but still up to this day you're not sure what is meant by center stage, upper left, and down left, right? So be familiar with stage positions. All right, so here are 6 techniques that I use during presentation. Okay, so first and foremost, I bow down whenever I'm recognized. So I don't wait to finish the entire introduction. Sorry, I don't wait the entire introduction. So once I'm introduced, I start climbing up the stage, and I make it sure that by the time the MC finish my introduction, I am already on the center stage. Okay, so slowly, pag aabangan ko na yung MC, slowly aabangan ko na siya. The moment na our speaker today is our speaker today to speak on. So slowly I will climb the I don't know, the stage, and then slowly walk until pagdating ko sa gitna, tapos na yung introduction. I'll raise my hand and then you bow. Okay. Then you could bow straight forward, facing everyone, or you could start on the right, center, and left. Okay. You wave a little bit, you bow. All right. Now, second is that I casually look at my presentations for the purpose of bringing everybody to look at my presentation. But I don't read, and you should not read as well. Don't read the entire presentation. Again, always focus on the substance of the abstract that you are trying to present. Okay? If that is already the abstract, then go with the substance. If the entire thing is too textual, too wordy, then explain to the delegation why you have to do that, or why you have to include that large text right there. Now, okay. Now, another thing that I use is the reflection. So I make the most of the reflection of the glass door. So I glance at the glass door in order for me to be guided with the next slide that I'm going to present. Sometimes kasi when you use a clicker like this, sometimes you press it by accident. I'm holding a clicker right now. So sometimes you press it by accident and you don't know already what's going on behind you. So what I do is I look around, I use the reflection. Now, on my first few years, when I started speaking in public, I would always bring with me a small mirror, so that I could I'd put it on the podium or I'd put it on the floor, so I could see what's going on behind me. Now, I'd make some glances every now and then, so I know that I'm guided with the slide. So, all right. Now, if I am in a concurrent session, again, I said earlier, diba, a plenary or main session does not require Q&A. But should the organizers require you to do a Q&A, similarly in a concurrent session, end your presentation with few questions that you are going to make. Okay? Lalong-lalo na if the speaking engagement is a concurrent session. Concurrent session is a small crowd, right? So after you make your presentation, what's next is Q&A. Is there any question? Paano pag walang nagtanong? Eh di nakatunganga ka ngayon sa podium, right? And it's going to increase the time, the vacuum that's going to happen after the presentation. Mas lumalala yung vacuum. So the best that you could do is actually to write 3 questions. You're going to plant it yourself, hand it out to the MC, and tell the MC to ask it himself to you. So dapat si MC marunong din. So if hindi marunong si MC because maybe he had too much to do on the side, being the program director and all that. So coach the MC to say that the question came from one of the delegates. So we have an anonymous call, or we have an text from a friend asking this question, blah 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 blah. What you needed to do is to get the ball rolling. Those 3 questions will get the ball rolling for the Q&A. The main purpose that we have concurrent sessions is to have a more focused, a more pronounced discussion. If no one will ask questions, your concurrent session will not make an impact. Okay? So if you are also in the main session and the organizers ask you to have a Q&A, which is not so normal, it's not a regular thing, but should they ask, then prepare your own Q&A and give it to the organizer. Ma'am, please ask me this question so we can have an interaction. Now, be quick as well to identify what is a question and what is a reaction. Okay, because some of the questions, once you get the ball rolling, some of the questions are not really question in nature, but rather a reaction or maybe a sharing of best practice. So if you are the speaker in a main plenary hall, and there's a Q&A and somebody raised his hand and threw a question to you, and apparently it's a reaction, then be quick to recognize it. Thank you for the reaction. That was something that has contributed, and that's really something that contributed to my presentation. I mean, thank you so much for that. Now, similarly, you do the same for a question. No? Thank you for the question. That's something that I did not prepare, but here's what I think. Okay. Now, if this also an opinion, meaning like Sometimes some would share an opinion that has nothing to do with the presentation. Be quick also to recognize, but of course acknowledge. First and foremost, always acknowledge by thanking the person, either it's a reaction, opinion, or a real question. Okay, so for the Q&A. So that's it. Now, let's go to the Q&A for this program naman. All right. So I hope that my less than an hour presentation coming off from my experience as a conference speaker for the past years, I hope it was something that I was able to contribute to everybody. All right. It's not a perfect what do you call this? It's not a perfect set of suggestion or recommendation, but it is something that you can pick on and start with as you move forward. Now, practice is very important. All right. Always remember that practice is very important, because practice isn't the thing that you do once only and makes you good. It is the thing that you keep on doing that makes you good. So start off with something small, right? Then eventually you will come up with a set of friends who will find the confidence in inviting you to a larger event or larger audience. So when that happens, at least you are already a little bit up there in terms of confidence level, and then you can already move forward. So just take note of the small things that are quite important, such as black pants, black suit, and especially for women, no, crossing your legs, and then so on, because those small things right there will shake your confidence. Believe me, it will really shake your confidence. Your mind is on how you look on the stage and not anymore on the substance of what you are presenting. Even in my classes, my class is a rather small, a very small class in the graduate school. I wear black pants all the time. Kasi pag gumagamit ako ng, siyempre, sa CR ka, maghugas ka ng kamay, pag may tumalsik, pagbalik mo sa klase mo, I started to become conscious of how I look like in front of them. Diba? And to think I can also see it if I want to. So, ganun din. Para bang it breaks my level of confidence. So those are rather small, but it's very helpful. Okay, thank you so much. And I'll bring the floor back to our mentors, Mentor Alan and Mentor Jamie. Are you still here?
Yeah, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. No? Ang dami ko natutunan. Alam niyo, matagal na akong nagko-conduct ng iba't ibang seminars, and I've also guested to a lot of speaking engagements. And nakakatuwa dahil even if I consider myself as experienced, marami pa rin pala talaga matututunan, no? When you listen to topics like this, especially dun sa introduction. Ako, ang luwag pa siyata ako na 1.5 minutes. Though sinamarize na natin yun, kailangan pala talaga when you introduce the speaker, mas maikli. And a lot of tips that I've heard. Sir Oliver, meron akong question. Kasi a lot of members of our audience maybe ay hindi pa talaga ganun ka-experienced in speaking in public or in a group in their own respective companies, no? Nininervyos yan. Kahit naman ako hanggang ngayon kahit na dekada ko nang kinokonduct yung mga seminars ko at nag-guest speaking sa iba't ibang occasions, nininervyos pa rin ako. Tumataas yung BP ko. But after the first 3-4 minutes bababa, normalize na, no? Which is normal din. Na doon yung nervousness and anxiety level at the start. Pero pag nag-take off ka na, magiging kampante ka na, very comfortable. Siguro you could give tips, especially for the newbies in public speaking, some tips to combat nervousness. Ano po yung may bibigay yung payo sa kanila?
All right. First and foremost, you need to know what you're going to present. It should be something that you are familiar with and that you have prepared for. That's the very first thing. Now, second, coming up with your own questions. We're already addressed some of the questions that you have not prepared for. So let's say, for example, anticipate mo na. Maybe you can come up, you can ask one of your friends to sit down with you during the practice, and then ask your friend to ask questions, and then write down those questions. Because if you will not prepare for your own questions, and then they ask you one of those that you have not prepared for, even a question lang will derail your confidence. So what you need to do is to come up with your more than 3 questions to ask, 5, 10, ask anything. Ask yourself all the questions that you have, and then try to answer them yourself. Okay, the second. Now, third is understand that we live in different regions. Kaming mga Cebuanos, tayong Cebuanos, Sir Alan, we speak differently from those coming from Luzon. So what do I mean by this? Pronunciation is important, but and the diction is important, but how you deliver it may not matter. Hence, we say tomato, tomato. If you're in UK, it's tomato. If you're in United States, it's tomato. Similar in the Philippines, if you are in Visayas, it's decisive. If you are in somewhere up north, it's decisive. So sometimes pronunciation is not as important on the same as the substance. Now, if you are not sure of your pronunciation of yourself as you speak, then try to search it yourself. Kasi para sa akin at para sa karamihan, lalo na yung mga professionals sa delegation or delegates who attend conferences, they're just after the abstract and the substance of the topic. They're not after the pronunciation. They're not after the diction. But it would matter a lot. It will make you really confident if you could speak well in terms of pronunciation and diction, right? So try to study it yourself. Now, another regional differences, if you are in Iloilo, yung SM namin is magkaiba eh. Kasi sa kanila, microorganism, no? Microorganism. Sa amin in Visayas, in Cebu, is microorganism. It's SEM, not SOM. So, kaya pag ikaw yung magsasalita and somebody tries to correct you, pick up on those correction. Kaya nga practice is very important. And then through the years, you are actually, what you're doing is you're mentally writing down those corrections, and through the years you can eventually build up on those recommendations and suggestions. Then at such time you can already stand up on your own on the spot and deliver something that you can speak on for. Now, if in any case, tulad ng sabi ko na tayo sa HR, parati tayong natuturo, navovolonturo to speak in public for whatever topic there may be. So, yun naman, mentally, what you needed to do is to, one, come up with introduction, tell them what you are going to tell them, and then third, who are the people involved in the presentation, and so on. And then fourth, what are you going to say? So, cut it on 1, 2, 3. Kaya if you've noticed also in my presentation today, puro lang ako 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Kasi 1, 2, 3 is a magical number. It will give you confidence to jump back and forth or to move forward. Pag nag-move forward ka, 1, 2, 3 lang yan eh. If you move backward, it's all 1, 2, 3. So madali siya for me, right?
Okay, so what you're saying is that para mabawasan yung nervousness, yan, practice, lalo na sa diction. Kung meron kang regional accent, try to search kung ano muna yung tamang diction na acceptable or madaling maintindihan ng iba. Then, the slides, make it simple because it will increase your confidence and therefore lessen lessen your nervousness. Right? So,
yes, that's true.
Ma'am, si Mentor Jamie, baka meron pong tanong.
Sa akin naman, I just really wanna say kay Mentor Oliver, definitely, great tips na makakatulong talaga pag na-voluntold tayo sa HR kasi nga madalas, di ba, iniimbitahan. At syempre, pag inimbitahan, gusto ko lang sabihin is, when it comes to the clothes that you've mentioned, talaga napaka-importante, no? Na dark colors yung suotin. Simply because it also builds credibility. Meron ka na bang, ano yung tips na ibibigay mo sa kanila, Mentor Oliver, when it comes to, like, for example, just in case, nagka-wardrobe. Alam mo na yon, minsan nagkaka-wardrobe. At malfunction. Yes. Ano yung, how can they maintain their composure in spite of, lalo na kung hindi pa nila na-deliver yung kanilang piece, or kaya in the middle of, sometimes it happens.
Okay, as I answer that, I'll share with you a very embarrassing moment in my life as a speaker. My pants ripped. I'm not kidding. My pants ripped. I dropped my phone because I was wearing a slacks lang that I use for work. So I guess, you know, through time, nag-brittle na rin yung pants ko. So my slacks ripped in the middle. And I could feel the air there because air conditioned eh. So definitely malaki yung hiwa, malaking hiwa. So lucky for me at that time because I was wearing a coat. So may ganito, nakasuit ako. I had a suit on. So at least yung focus ng isipan ko is that something is covering my back. Oh, then I couldn't, and at that moment, I couldn't go to the bathroom. I couldn't excuse myself because I'm few minutes away from being called to be the next speaker. So I made use of the podium to cover. I made use of the podium. I did not move around so much, in which I usually do whenever I'm asked to stand in the stage, in the center stage. I always try to move around and make glances. But in that afternoon, I had to make use of the podium and make large movements with my hands just to get the attention of the audience. So in any case that something like that happens to you, it's okay naman to tell the organizer eh. It's okay naman to tell the organizer that, oh, I'm sorry, my undergarments broke and now it's hanging in my back. Kung babae ka ha, or some hanging in front of my chest. So the organizer will buy time for you to fix yourself up. What's important is that you did not keep that to yourself like what I did the first time. Kasi nung sinabi ko yun sa organizer, I think few months later when I ran into her as my friend, sabi niya sa akin, "Sir, ba't di mo sinabi? I had the chance pa naman to kill time for you to fix something up." And she was there that afternoon to make sure lang that I will present on time. So para bang she was after my care that I can present on time kasi thinking siguro that my time is rather limited that afternoon. So be honest. You have to tell the person that the organizers that, oh, I'm sorry, something broke. So I need to make a quick change. Now, if you are there on the stage and something broke while you're there standing, the best that you can do is hide yourself in the podium and don't make large movements. Right?
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. Talagang napaka-important. You'll never know, di ba? Bigla-biglaan lang. Kaya dapat ready. At yun, may composure.
Alright. So, Mentor Oliver, meron pong question, no? Pagdating po sa mga corporate presentations involving data and technical information, how can speakers structure their presentation to be clear, engaging, and hold audience's attention? Kasi pag data, no, pag technical yung presentation, there are a lot of diagrams, a lot of numbers, and you can easily lose the attention and engagement of your audience. Anong pwede mong may bigyan na tip to keep them interested and engaged with your presentation na medyo complex visually because of the diagrams and numbers?
Well, ako naman kasi what I often do when it comes to data presentation is that I give out the details in a piece of paper. So I always ask the organizers to just print out copies of what I'm going to present. And then I go straight to the summary of my presentation in terms of data. So I go to the total and explain the wisdom behind those figures. Para if they want to know the details, then they can just read the material from the handouts rather than us discussing it. If it is a large plenary, no, pagka magaganoong malalaking conferences. Now for small concurrent sessions, kasi mas intimate kapag concurrent session eh. So I try to find time in discussing the details of the data. and then I present the exact data because it's manageable. Siguro mga nasa mga 30 to 40, sabihin na lang natin 50 yung max ng isang concurrent. Napakalaki na nga nung 50 mga siguro regional na yan or international speaking engagement. But for local concurrent, mga less than 30, siguro mga 20, 25 participants. I'm speaking of the participants. So you can easily have a more ano ba tawag ito, more personalized discussion. In fact, ako nga, I don't use microphones whenever I'm in a concurrent session because I try to stand in the middle, in the center, so that when I say something, I look at them straight in the eye. So I look on my left, I look on my right, and then I look straight in the eye of the delegate. So you have a connection there. Ganito yun eh. You cannot please everyone. That's true, right? You cannot please everyone. You're not even sure if what you are presenting is something that is attractive to them or catches their attention. You're not sure kasi it could also be that some of them attended the conference because, they want to take a break from work.
Okay. So
you're not
attention.
So you're not really sure. Oh.
Ito may tanong si Kat Suarez. Good afternoon po. Thank you for this session, Coach Oliver. How to become an effective and not a boring speaker? Is it coming from the experience? Pag lagi mo na itong ginagawa, how to handle the pressure and nervousness if the audience are more professional and experienced than you?
Okay. To add on the nervousness, other than you practicing it and so on, when you practice your presentation kasi, it gives you the feeling of mastery, right? Now, your feeling now is moving towards you own the show. Ayan, ikaw na yung may-ari ng show. If somebody asks questions, if you cannot answer it, just be honest. So you are now the owner of that slot right there. Now, how do you make it interesting enough for everybody to get their attention? What you needed to do actually is to focus, try to check. If somebody is looking at you, walang nagkukwentuhan, di wag kang mag-focus sa mga nagkukwentuhan. Put your attention on those delegates looking at your slides, and you have them facing you, because even if they are not thinking of your presentation, even if the interest is not there, but the fact that they are looking at you gives you the confidence that you have people watching and listening to you. Now, you can crack jokes, but be careful on the use of jokes. In fact, when you are in a plenary session, the cornier it is, the safer for you and the safer for everyone. Kasi baby joke siya eh. Pang baby talk, parang ganun. It's so corny that people will tend to laugh to you just because, they know that you're trying your best. What's difficult is that when you try to be funny, even when you are not, you don't have the skill to be funny. You don't have skill to be a comedian. And then you try to be funny because you want to be interesting and you want to be less boring. All right? Now, keep in mind that in every 100 delegation, there is at least 10 delegates who is twice nerdy than you. So, yung 10 yun, makikinig talaga sila sa iyo. So, attention mo nandun. Wag mo nang pakialaman yung mga hindi nakikinig sa iyo, magkwentuhan sila. Then let them be, especially you're in a plenary eh. Plenary kasi maluwag, no? The main session. Pag concurrent, ganun din. Pag one-on-one, medyo personalized ng konti. Let them be. Focus on the people who are looking at you and listening to you.
So therefore, pala, it's inappropriate to call the attention of an inattentive or unattentive audience in the middle of your talk.
I don't call them eh. I don't call them. What I do is that I try to reach out to them by looking at them and they're saying something. And then they'll stop talking and look at you, because that's the best way of trying to get everybody's attention. The rule actually there is 10 seconds. When you look at somebody in a concurrent session or in a plenary, dapat 10 seconds lang yan. So count 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then move to the next. Then i-wave mo na naman yung paningin mo. So whenever you frame, that's only 10 seconds, 1 to 10. Kasi pag nakatutok ka na ng ganun, baka sabihin na galit ka.
O baka magkainlaban kayo, no?
Buti sana, at least positive yung output, di ba?
There's a big difference between glancing and the staring. Yun,
That
baka
is true. That is
ma-intimidate,
very true.
ma-intimidate yung
10 seconds glance
audience.
lang yan eh.
Oo.
Oh.
Si Ma'am Jamie, baka meron kang dagdag na tanong?
Oh, when it comes to question, hindi naman. I just want to, kumbaga, yung sinabi ni Mentor Oliver, agree naman ako doon. So just simply, wag mo i-call attention yung mga unattentive. Instead, do something para at least maging interested sila. Ayun. And
Yes.
sometimes the glance really, very powerful yon. Ayan.
Yes.
Meron pang question yata dito po si Maris Abella. Ayan. Sabi niya, is it inappropriate to call, ayan po, yung, ayun na pala yung tanong niya. When it comes to the attention of the unattentive audience. Yun nga yung sinabi ni Mentor Oliver, kasi baka mapahiya lang. Ang gusto natin engagement, diba, Mentor Oliver? So, it's better na lang na, na encourage mo sila. Positive reinforcement, ika nga.
Sa classroom setting, may technique ako i-share. Kapag may participants akong nagdadaldalan in the middle of my presentation, I don't embarrass them. What I do is this, gawin niyo po ito. Habang nagsasalita kayo, umalis kayo sa podium, total, classroom lang naman yan, ano? Go near those two ladies na nagchichikahan, nagmamaritesan. The tendency is that everybody's attention now is towards you and with them behind you. Magiging conscious sila. Oops, nakatingin, nandito yung direksyon ng mga mata ng tao sa classroom. And they will start paying attention and behave. Kasi nakatingin lahat sa direksyon nila. Pag hindi pa rin nakuha, tanungin mo na, would you like to share something about the topic? Mukhang maganda yung pinag-uusapan nyo. It's a subtle way of saying pay attention or else. Hindi ko sila in-embarrass, pero in-engage ko pa rin. Alam nyo, effective. Ang tendency, nakikinig pala. Kaya lang, may attitude talaga yung mga participants na mahilig magdaldalan, mag-side topic. Tawag ko nga dyan may main topic na rito, may subtopic pa sila. Okay? Tendency, because siguro,
multitasking now.
Oo. To save their face, kung ano yung huli nilang naintindihan o narinig, they start talking about it. O pinagbibigyan ko na kahit medyo sablay o dumaplis lang or tapos na yung topic na yan, iba na yung sabi mo. I just appreciate, and my intention naman is to get their attentiveness during the classroom discussion. Effective so far. Anyway,
well, I have a question also for Mentor Jamie this time. No, I would like to know, in terms of personality development, what kind of self-presentation that will resonate as to others, resonate to others in terms of professionalism. How should we carry ourselves whether as a speaker, as a professional? Is colors ba? I mean, are colors important when you speak in the podium?
Oh, that's a great question. So first is yung personality, or when you actually stand in front. So una, of course, yung confidence mo dapat as a speaker, yun yung silently parang nag-exude or dapat lalabas siya. So it means that kailangan nating gawin is yung kaninang mga tips na when it comes to overcome yung nervousness. Now, as a public speaker, kahit na, alam mo yon, gaano katagal na, di ba, tayong tatlo din, may time pa rin, magko-cross pa rin yung kaba ng konti. Pero it's what you do with the nervousness that counts a lot. So, you have to get to know yung sarili mo rin in terms na kung mayroon ng possibility na ma-record mo sarili mo para napapanood mo, that will be quite great. That helped me a lot as a public speaker. So, nire-record ko ang sarili ko, or kung may recording yung event, humihingi ako. Kasi nakikita ko, ay, may ginawa pala ako. Hindi ko napansin na ganun pala yung posture ko, yung ganito. Hanggang as time passes by, mai-improve mo siya. So, yung personality kasi natin and professionalism, nakikita yan how we stand, and at the same time, what we wear. So, napakaganda ng question. So, meron tayo yung business, di ba, formal, meron tayong business casual. So, dapat you know, and you have asked also the organizer, tanong mo lang sa kanya, ano yung attire? And then, if you will be a speaker for a company, usually may mga dress codes sila. So, maganda na hindi tayo overdressed, hindi din tayo underdressed. So, kapag sinabing formal, usual formal naman, di ba? Yun yung mga three-piece suit or naka-necktie, naka-coat for gentlemen, and then for women, tayo naman syempre naka-coat din naman. And then yung maganda yung mga sinabi ni Coach Oliver kanina, so please take note of that. So sa mga inner shirt natin, so maganda talaga na light yung sa loob and then dark yung sa labas. Black talaga go-to, ano yan natin, mga go-to colors natin yan. Colors have meaning. So, maganda ang black kasi ang black, lagi kong iniisip yung power, authority, and at the same time, yung pagiging exclusive nandun din siya. But just in case you choose other colors, may mga meaning siya. But at the same time, tingnan mo din, bago ko ibigay yung ibang meaning, Coach Oliver, tingnan mo din yung body chemistry mo. Kasi di ba merong minsan pawisin na speaker. Tapos yung mga spotlights, di ba, ang iinit nun? Plus, pag niya-nervous ka, naku, triple init na yan. So, be very conscious about it kasi marami na ngayon na yung mga typical attire natin, business attire, andyan yung black, andyan yung brown, andyan yung, diba, navy blue. So, yun yung mga usual. But now, a lot of speakers are going to non-traditional colors. Okay lang naman yan, basta you know din yung body chemistry mo. Like, if for example, business casual lang, walang coat. Kasi ang coat maganda, diba, nangyari kay Coach Oliver, di ba? At least just in case anything happens within, medyo nako-cover siya, di ba? Pero paano kung business casual? Wala tayong pang-cover. Halimbawa, ganito, business casual lang, mga blouses, right? Ano ang mga magagandang suotin, babae o lalaki? So, yung light color, safe talaga yon. Kung pawisin ka, mas maganda yung light colors kasi kapag dark, kitang-kita agad yung stain sa underarm, whether man or woman. So, ang tinatanong ko pala din as a public speaker or speaker, ventilation. Talaga. Like, for me, I do have mild asthma din po. So, tinatanong ko talaga, do we have electric fan lang ba? Or aircon lang ba? So, how is it? Para alam ko rin yung attire ko. So, kung magsusuot ako ng manipis sa loob, tapos coat, so, nakaplano yan, napaka-importante. And then, other colors, like, for example, maroon. So, pag maroon, usually, it connotes what we call sophistication. Andun din yung power, passion, anything na, halimbawa yung color ay red. So, meron ka bang kinakampaign? Meron ka bang brand? So, if you will be speaking, you can either choose yung color mo. Like ako, halimbawa, pag business ko ay blue, gold, or parang yellowish, white. Yun ako. Or sometimes, tong color na to. So, naglalaro dun lang yung mga damit ko. And then, kapag sakasakali na you want to play with other colors, just know the basic meaning. Like for example, pag green, ayan. So green, di ba, nature, andyan yung success. So kasama na yun. And then let me take a look at other colors. So yung iba pang mga colors natin, it can also tell other people, for example, yellow represents optimism, energy, and warmth. And then blue, often associated with trust, professionalism, and reliability. Two colors, usually okay yan, maganda siya, like yung inner and outer. Kung mahilig ka talaga sa maraming color, wag naman yung masyadong rainbow. Kasi again, depende nga sa brand mo, depende din sa occasion. Pero again, the more formal it is, kumbaga, yung color, kung two-tone, siguro 3, pwede, pero 2 is quite okay. And then sa combination na lang. Kasi it will tell, yung sinabi ni Coach Oliver kanina, who you are sa audience mo, tatatak yun dito. And then yung katulad na nabanggit ko kanina, image nyo is very important. Plus credibility. Kasi when you're sharing something, you're the authority. So you want people who are actually listening, whether it's 10, 20, 30 to thousands, to believe in you. Now, how can they believe you if the way you carry yourself ay hindi siya presentable? Sad to say, pero sometimes people judge the book by its cover, yes. Right? Ang example ko nga po dito, mga mentors, like for example, beauty product, if if nagbebenta ka ng beauty product, pero nakita nung bibili sa'yo na, alam mo yon, wala kang ka-makeup mo hulas na, or kaya nag-ano. So parang, how will they actually believe that you're the authority of what you're actually selling?
Yes.
So same thing with public speaking, whatever topic it might be, just be presentable. Don't overdo, ladies, for us, the makeup. Tapos kung magme-makeup ka, light lang. Tapos yung ilaw talaga, napaka-importante kasi nakakahulas yan. And if you will be wearing specs pala, not naalala ko, kasi dati, hindi ako yung parang, di ba may anti-glare na ngayon? So dati, hindi ako naka-anti-glare. So nung nag-spotlight, nag-fog. So, after that, so sabi ko, naku, kailangan na pala investan kasi medyo mahal po, di ba? So, kailangan, kung talagang may occasions ka na mag-speak, so yon, kung kasama kasi sa attire mo yon, so just make sure na may anti-glare or hindi na siya nag-fog. So, may mga brands po na gano'n na salamin para pag hindi ka na magwa-wipe pa pag nandun ka sa harap ng stage, kabawas din kasi ng yung credibility kahit paano.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
yun yung mga some lang. And make sure when you wear something, be confident. Huwag yung
Yes.
masyadong conscious. Sorry, ladies, medyo mas marami sa, yung tayo, di ba ngayon, maraming mga uso, yung mga hanging, yung mga ganyan. So, think twice if you will be wearing that. If you will be wearing that, may coat ka. Kasi, what are you speaking about? Right? Whether we like it or not, they see you. So when they see you, they also think an impression. So if they only have that time with you, so a tendency is that will be a lasting impression. So make a great one.
Yeah.
So
That's
yun yung sa
May
mga
rule tayo dyan na you catch the audience attention, yes, towards your subject matter, not towards you. Di ba? Kasi may mga speaker, lalo nung nauso ang miniskirt nung araw, siyempre nakikiuso, they were able to catch the attention not on the presentation, but on themselves. So, kaya, at the end of the day, nagtanong sila sa Q&A, what are the things that stick in your mind? Ano yung mga takeaway ninyo dito sa aking presentation? Nakanganga yung mga participants sa lalaki. Walang masabi. Kasi hindi nila intindihan yung sinabi, kundi na-appreciate nila yung speaker. See? May tanong ako. By the way, in connection to what you have said, Ma'am Jamie, pagdating sa webinars or online training, medyo iba ang rules. Kaya hindi masyadong particular sa attire, pero at least hindi ka naman nakaubad. Malay ba naman ninyo kung naka-short pants yung tao, nakita lang naman yung sa screen up to this level, di ba? So, iba But the formalities will still be there. A lot of rules still apply. And pagdating ngayon sa public speaking, lalong-lalo na sa conferences, mga seminars, yung mga binanggit ni Sir Oliver, a lot of rules apply that he mentioned. Yung isa lang ang tanong, there are some speakers, ang kanilang technique in order to lessen or to reduce nervousness is they tend to walk around, not only on the stage, but they go down from the stage and walk around the audience, forcing the members of the audience in front to twist their neck dahil nasa likod na ng dulo ng audience yung speaker, tapos paikot-ikot sa iba't ibang lugar. So they always twist the neck of the members of the audience. Sometimes out of frustration, hindi na lang tumitingin and they will just rely on the audio na narinig naman. What is your take on that? Yung palakad-lakad, is that advisable or is it something that you have to diminish?
Well, if this is a seminar or a concurrent session, it's ideal to do that because you're trying to connect with your audience. Now, mind you, you only have a sizable number of audience. But in a large plenary, let's say conference, PMAP conference, if you're going to do that, it could result to a nightmare. First and foremost, the lapel that you are wearing has limited signal. And usually, yung stage ng lapel, yung tech natin, nasa harap lang ng stage. And usually, meron niyang laser na naka-point sa lapel mo for that lapel to communicate to the speaker. Ngayon, pagbababa ka, lalabas ka doon, you might be out of range already. And usually, malalaki talaga yung plenary hall eh. Di ba? Malalaki yung plenary hall. Unless, of course, if you attend a conference, that the plenary hall is kind of small and you can walk around. Now, I'll share with you an experience with, I attended a seminar in Hong Kong, a conference in Hong Kong. And one of the speakers was si R. Rakcha, the Microsoft HR director for the longest time. And his style was like that. No, he would move around, but because of the limitation on the lapel that he was wearing, he would do that only on the front row. So front row siya magba-back and forth, and we could tell that he had issues, he had problems with that lapel. Kasi pag mag-step forward siya, mapuputol, mawawala yung voice niya. Babalik siya ngayon dun sa harap. Yes. Kaya you can pay attention to that, no? So it's okay if you're going to do that as well. Now, another example, si Pido. I don't know if you know Pido Aguilar. Well, yeah. Pido Aguilar already passed away. And yes. Pido Aguilar, when he speaks, he will try to craft his style on the topic. At one time, he was invited to speak on parang wellness, parang a toxic environment, parang ganon, yung something to do with taking your time, relax a little bit, ganon. And you know what he did? He came very late. But he came early, except that he disappeared. So he went down the lobby, kasi nasa 7th floor yata yung venue. He went down the lobby, and the organizer was frantic calling him, and so on. So he went out around 30 minutes. Yung presentation niya parang 1 hour lang, 1 hour 30 minutes. So he took another 15 minutes just to drink coffee. And then when he went on stage, he was, literally dragging himself, walking around. Then he started his talk on toxic environment and how to manage those and blah, blah, blah. So he was actually trying to present his style on what the topic is about. So kind of different also when he was speaking on, I think something to do with getting the attention of your, making your presentation better and all that. So at that time naman, he was really walking around. But in one of the plenary sessions in PMAP as well, I think it was in PMAP or PSTD, he really delivered it as if like he was in a plenary session. So, ang ganda ng style niya and he dressed up kasi usually si Pido, makikita mo yun, may nakatali sa leeg, parang Indian. But that event naman, he wore a two-piece suit. Naka-necktie, he delivered his he welcomed everyone, and so on. Kasi plenary session But on main sessions, on his normal get-up is that he has that, ano ba yung tinatali ng mga babae sa leeg? When you're cold, when it's winter.
Shawl ba yun?
Yun, shawl. Sorry, di ako gumagamit ng shawl even in cold places. Meron lang akong bonnet na dinadrag down. Gano'n. So shawl yun. So he would bring a shawl around because that's his signature. No, this signature niya yun But I guess it's all about putting yourself in the right context as a speaker. Now, in using colors, in most cases, kasi I also attend regional conferences as a speaker. To be safe, I only wear black. That's it. Black or dark blue. Bakit? One time, I wore checkered pink. Hindi naman siya pink, pero red. Dark red. Checkered red. And then, yung tablecloth, checkered pero malalaki nga lang. Sasabi ko, pag umiga ako dito, di ako makikita. So I had that was my undershirt, shirt, and then I had my necktie on. So iba kasi yung pag nasa So from then on, moving forward, whenever I speak in a conference, to be safe, I wear black or navy blue. That's it. Kasi I don't want any color. Baka you might blend in the background. And then the good thing about wearing black is that your head, especially on camera, on cam, is more pronounced. So basta kikita ka actually sa camera yung mukha mo pag nire-record. O pag merong spotlight, mas kita ka. Kasi naka-black ka, kita yung leeg mo, naka-ganon. So okay siya. So I think, again, it's all about style and how you deliver the message that you're trying to deliver. Kasi ako, most of my topics have something to do with best practices, something to do with the current trends. Oh, I haven't spoken in a event like PIDO. No? Siguro one of these days. So maybe I'll attend wearing sandals and shorts.
Mm. We have a reaction or rather comment pala. Comment here and also a question. Doon muna tas comment. It's an addition to the discussion. Maybe this person is practicing spirituality and deep meditation. Sabi niya, from the esoteric perspective, blue chakra is the communication chakra. Yun yung mga energy centers natin. No? If you want to communicate fully and clearly, wear blue-colored clothing para to stimulate the chakras, the blue chakra of the individuals you are talking to. But this is too deep already, and many of our members of the audience might not be able to appreciate that. Pero magandang topic yan, very interesting yan because I also engage in deep spirituality literature. I read a lot of that and meditation stuffs. Pero may question. A question here coming from ayun, Baris Abelia. Is it sorry, tapos na pala ito. Ito, si Kat Suarez, how would you know if the audience learned something from your presentation at natuwa din pala? Paano malalaman kung natuwa si program chair sa yung material? Dalawa ang tinatanong niya.
When it comes to the total presentation, you will find that out later on in the evaluation. So post-mortem siya, no? Post-mortem mo na malalaman. But on the action, while you are doing it, all you need to do is to look at the faces of the crowd. You look at the face of the crowd. If they are agreeing with you, if they nod as you say something, they nod with whatever you're saying, then they are in agreement with you. But remember one thing. Your mandate as a resource speaker is to deliver a knowledge. Okay, you are there to be informative. That's your mandate. Trabaho mo yan as a speaker. Ngayon, kung hindi sila masaya sa information na dineliver mo, let it be. Because in 100 attendees, you cannot convince everyone. A very clear example is itong topic on LGBTQ. Not everybody will agree with you on that. DEI, not everybody will agree with you on that. So focus on the faces of those who are nodding and agreeing with you, right? Because your mandate is to deliver an information, to share knowledge.
Okay, speaking of that, we want to see reactions from our audience. No? Baka gusto nyo magbigay ng emoticons. So your honest reaction to this topic of ours. Kasi masarap din tingnan kung meron ng mga reaction from the audience ko. May marami namang emoticons dyan. Smiley ba? Or thumbs up? Or whatever.
Mentor Alan, kasi I also do synchronous classes. So depende sa schedule, we meet online. So alam naman natin when you use Zoom, di ba, delay yung pag-pick up ng voice, ng reaction pagka nagkakasabay-sabay kayo. So related to what you shared earlier on webinars, I also do the same. What you have suggested now, that's exactly what I do. So I'd ask them, can I get a thumbs up sign if you have understood what I said? You give me a thumbs up sign. So can you give me a heart if you agree? And then can you give me a clap if you don't? So makikita ko sa mga kung karaming nag-agree, gano'ng karaming nag-disagree. So wala I mean, that's the best way for you to get the feel of the environment while you are doing it. But what's the most important as a speaker, your mandate, your job is to deliver information and to share knowledge. It's up to them if they're going to pick that up.
Yeah, in connection to that, last question na to. How can speakers effectively assess the impact of representation and identify areas for improvement to become more effective communicators in the corporate world? I am referring to your measuring of success, mga KPI kung meron, for the purpose of improvement continuously, for improving continuously your material.
Well, if you are doing a public speaking as a livelihood, kapag yan talagang pagkabuhayan mo, you're a public trainer and all that, you really have to take it by heart, whatever feedback that you get. no matter how small, especially the big ones, right? And you have to improve along the way. Now, if you are only a resource speaker, again, you are there to share information, share knowledge, and you get to receive mga negative feedback. Work on those not because it is your matter of livelihood, but because you are a professional. Like what Mentor Jamie said earlier, na merong nag-comment about the way you dress, the way you mix colors. Don't take it as an offense. Take it as a developmental suggestion because in the future, you might get paid more, right? Or you might even get promoted because of that if you're going to improve yourself. Masakit tanggapin yung comment eh. To be honest with you, I mean, I've been doing public speaking for quite some time now. Every now and then I get invited. And you know what stick to me when it comes to pronunciation? I was in India to speak on HR business partnership. So tayong mga Filipino, we pronounce culture as culture. Tama, 'di ba? Tama, 'di ba, Miss Jamie? We pronounce it unlike in Visayas, we pronounce it not as culture but culture. Para bang bababa ng konti, but just the same. If you listen carefully, it's not culture because the right pronunciation is culture. Now, an Indian delegate approached me. Sabi niya, "Sir, I was amazed by your presentation, but for the first 30 minutes, I couldn't understand what you were talking about." I said, "Really? How come?" Because you keep on mentioning about culture. And then later on, I realized it was culture. An Indian had to correct me because he couldn't understand what is culture and what is culture. And at that time when I was asked to speak, I think my mentality, my head was been looking dark-skinned audience. So para bang I became too comfortable that I forgot that they are foreigners. So it was very painful on my part, to be honest. Para bang feeling ko na insulto ako. Kasi kami mga Cebuano, hindi naman kami ganoon mag-pronounce ng culture. Pero naku, yung attention, it hurt me.
Kinakantawan pa nga tayo ng mga relatives natin. Kayo mga Manileño, ang arte nyo magsalita, yung tricycle, iba, dapat tricycle yan, tricycle. Di ang impossible, impossible.
Burger nga di ba? Burger sa atin is burger. In Manila, it's burger. Or if you go to Batangas, to Laguna, it's burger. So, but anyway, my point in that is, when you pick on evaluations and you pick on those room for recommendation, it's painful, it's hurtful. Even up to this day, it hurts me to see an evaluation about what I did. But I cry on it overnight. Yeah, I cry on it overnight. Pero literally umiiyak. But what I mean is, I take on that and then I improve moving forward. Kaya nga pagdating sa diction, I make diction as equally important as the pronunciation when I deliver. So every now and then, in a public audience like this, wherein I have audience of Manileño or Filipinos, so I get to have the chance to shift from local dialect, our national language, and of course a foreign language, and so I get to have a chance to shift. But when I deliver a piece in a foreign place, wherein attended by 100% foreigners, I have to be conscious of what I say. And I have to move my mouth more. I have to move my mouth. I have to be conscious movement of my jaw. That when I talk, it's moving. It's my mouth is open. Because if I try to hold it, I will end up mispronouncing. And even when I say things in my mind, there's already a mental map of what I'm going to say next and how I'm going to say it. So when I find myself lost, I stop. I pause for a moment, and then I tend to look. But actually, inside my head, I'm trying to pick up what I have lost. Asa na ba ako? Ay, yun. Oh, then back to the ulit. But that moment right there, that 10 seconds right there is actually like, from the audience point of view, is actually like a delay of what you're going to say next. So they're actually waiting for you. Oh, ano kaya sasabihin niya? But actually, inside your head, oh my God, please God help me. What was that? But you need to maintain your composition. So when you pronounce properly, when you say things properly, it actually lessens the impact of the evaluation. Believe me, when you are impressive, when you speak and you are impressive, sometimes the audience, they don't look at the content of what you are presenting. but because they got so amazed with the way you speak, para ka bang nagse-serenade. Na in love sila sa iyo dahil sa mala bedroom voice mo, o kaya mala Siri na boses, right? So what I'm trying to say now in closing is that evaluation will hurt, but it will help you a lot. So go for it, for the evaluation.
Okay, maraming salamat sa iyong input, sir. Coach Oliver. Now, nako, 5:47, nagkasarapan talaga tayo ng discussion, ano?
Oo.
So,
Pwede ba wala isang question?
kung meron pang question,
Sige, meron lang ako baka makatulong din sa kanila. Coach Oliver, sa experiences mo, aside from unattentive na audience, meron ka pa ba mga 1 or 2 types of audience na medyo challenging, and how did you handle yung mga type of audience?
I was asked to speak in a conference at one time, and apparently these were attended by nurses, and there was an issue on salary. So one prominent political figure actually ranted. No, I mean, and I was representing a large medical institution. So ranted and then asked too many questions. Actually, it was, if you look back at it at that time, it wasn't even a question; it was a reaction. But I was grilled. I was grilled down to my So I just paused for 10 seconds, and the best thing that I did at that time, I was actually running short of options. To be honest, I was running out of options. But that experience made me realize that maybe that's the best way to do it moving forward. So what I did, I threw the question back.
Yeah.
And when I threw the question back, I asked somebody to answer the question for her. So I said, okay, let's hear it from this hospital near blah, blah, blah. Ma'am, now that she couldn't answer the question that I threw back, can you answer the question to her? So nag-facilitation na ako. Then from then, sila na nag-away-away. So ako natahimik na. But that's the list of the options. But that experience taught me that. Kaya moving forward from that point to present, pag meron ko na-encounter ng mga negative reaction about this and that, what I do is I throw it back to the floor. The first thing I do is I ask the person asking the question, kasi hindi siya question. It was questioning. Magkaiba ang question sa questioning. Question, you didn't understand. Questioning, you're trying to prove something. So I ask back by asking, what do you think, sir? What do you think, ma'am? Mag-explain siya ngayon, mag-rant siya. And then ibabalik ko naman sa audience from the crowd. May I hear on my right side here? Those who agree, can I see the hands? And those who do not, can I see also the left hand? O di doon ako sa nag-agree. Then balik ako doon sa di nag-agree. O di sila na nagtalo-talo.
Ang galing. That's how World War III starts.
Yeah, but that taught me a lesson. When I was placed in that moment, when I was placed in that hot seat, I didn't even know what to do. I didn't even know how to react. Kasi pag nag-react ako, sabi ko, naku, away to. Di magtatalo kaming dalawa. Kakainin ako, former congresswoman. Tapos merong present na congressman in another sector. Ko, patay, hindi pa naman ako abogado. I just look like one. Ayun, so that's
from that one. Sir. Ang gusto ko dyan kapag, lalo na kung sensitive yung topic, I invoke my right, Your Honor. It might incriminate me. It's a sensitive topic. But let us hear from the audience. Yan.
Mga sensitive topics like that. You cannot immediately pull yourself out of the stage.
Right.
You can't just disappear. So that's the best way to exit.
Yeah, but that's a great one. Totoo. Maraming ganyan.
Iba yung question sa questioning
Oo. Nanunubo kung hanggang saan ang alam mo. Okay. Minsan, nakakapikon, gusto mong patulan, pero sabi nga, do not antagonize your audience. Sabi ni Dale Carnegie, let the person save his space. Let the person save his space, kaya pagbigyan mo na lang. Kaya magawa ko ng mga ganyang maneuverings. Maganda yan. Anyway.
Related siya sa quote natin, di ba? Related siya sa quote of the week, yung mga mema.
Tama. Agree.
May masabi lang. Grandstanding lang. Yun. Anyway, very good. So, ang ganda ng discussion, no? And I'm sure that many of you out there ay marami ring natutunan. Kaya lang, alam nyo, any beautiful topics like that will have to come to an end. Kaya, um, let's wrap up in a very, very slow manner. Sabi ko nga, we want to hear some announcements siguro from Coach Oliver, then announcements also from Ma'am Jamie for their activities or anything that they want the public to know. Then I will close the um, episode. All right, Sir Oliver?
All right. A pleasant afternoon, and thank you everybody for having me and for maintaining your patience, listening to my topic. And I hope in time I'll get a chance to see everyone, those who attended. As for the events, I do not want to endorse any of the institution para fair because
Mhm.
apparently I am in four academic institutions now. So I will not endorse one of them. But in terms of learning, in terms of knowledge, always be on the lookout for continuing learning and education. Never settle on what you already have now. May it be multiple MBAs, multiple masters. It's not the degree that goes with learning. It's the learning that is far more important. Now, for
Yeah.
those who do not have a master's degree yet, and you are considering taking one, do it now. Do it now while you still have the time, because the moment you get married and have kids, it will no longer be your priority. And of course, second to that, in terms of priorities, is that in order for you to swim better, then you have to learn from somebody who knows how to swim. So that's the idea behind pursuing further education. So as a champion in further learning, champion kasi instead of a professor, as a champion, I advise everybody to continue on their learning. Keep on logging in here in HR Cafe, because this is a weekly session that you're going to get far more topics that are more important and applicable on your daily lives. Last na lang in closing, if you have a doctorate degree, don't use it as a brand. It stops in the academic institution that you represent. It does not apply anywhere else. Okay?
Yes.
That is not a good brand if you're going to keep on allowing yourself to be called doctor when you are not a medical doctor. So the
Thank you.
post-nominals are very important, but not equally important for the pre-nominals. Okay? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you very much,
Salamat.
Sir Oliver. And mentor Jamie.
Yeah, so to everyone, I know that you've learned quite a lot. At ayan, at least it prepares you now for any public speaking engagement that you will have anytime soon. So I agree with Coach Oliver what he had said. So just keep learning. That's very important. And even as a public speaker, sometimes maaring sa sarili nyo, I'm not born as a speaker. That can be learned. Basta andun yung willingness ng puso ninyo. So we encourage you to keep on improving, keep on learning, at courage yan, kinakailangan. And for more topics, like for example, when it comes to image branding, or anything about further speaking, follow me po sa aking channel. That's Jamie Iris Talk TV. So I have my YouTube channel. And at the same time, meron din po tayong FB. And you can follow me din po doon sa aking Empower to Excel Training Consultancy for any upcoming mga topics po that we will have this coming April. Ngayong March po, medyo nagpahinga muna because may mga inaasikaso. Pero mag-restart po tayo after the Holy Week po ng mga events. And at the same time po, I will be restarting po yung podcast ko. That's Empowering Real Talk and Career Tips by Jamie Iris. So, looking forward to share sa inyo yung mga tips how you can grow professionally, personally, at kung may mga questions po kayo about career development, you can just simply mention that so that I could further help you. And of course, don't forget, always, every Sunday, samahan niyo po kami sa The HR Cafe. Ayan.
Yes. So thank you, Mentor Jamie. I-announce ko lang that on May 21, 22, 23, between 1 to 4, it's a 3-day session, not in 3 hours. We are going to conduct Creative Moves. Business Outsourcing is going to conduct the AI-powered HR. So you experience AI for unparalleled productivity. And we are focusing on AI for HR. Yung aming first topic na AI for recruitment, and selection. So if you want to enroll, makikita nyo po yung mga posters namin sa iba't ibang HR groups, lalong-lalo na sa sarili nating group, Philippines HR Group. And also in my LinkedIn account, naka-advertise na po yun as an event. Alright, so muli naman po tayong magto-close dahil napaka-interesting po ng topic. I'm sure everybody learned. Thank you for joining us today on HR Cafe, where we unravel some complexities of the HR and OD world. A huge thank you to our insightful guest speaker, Mentor Oliver Rickelman, for shedding light on the art of getting ready for public speaking. Remember, effective communication is at the core of our profession, and mastering the art of public speaking can truly elevate your impact as an HR or OD professional. So, as we wrap up today's episode, let's carry forward the valuable lessons shared and embark on our journey to become confident communicators and influential leaders in our organizations. Don't forget to tune in next Sunday for our enriching discussion on topics vital to our HR community. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep shining bright in the realm of human resources and organization development. In behalf of the Philippines HR Group, this is Mentor Alan, naglilingkod sa inyo saan man sa mundo. Signing off from HR Cafe. Have a wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
And signing off.
Yeah.